I'm out in the water, come jump right in, 'cause we going farther than we ever been. I'm out in the water, come jump right in, we going farther than we ever been.
Howdy! Welcome.
Hello. Welcome. Episode 32.
32. 3, 2.
Ocean Waves, episode 32. I'm Indigo Ryan, the Navigator.
I'm Bree.
I'm Jackson.
Calbino. Andy Dwayne the Kin.
Jason the Guru.
All right. Got Jackson on the podcast for the first time. Fire.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome in.
Soundtrack button.
Hell yeah. Well, Bree, I think you were the first person to mention the podcast today. Did you have something you wanted to talk about?
Are you okay? Okay then.
Not really. I just woke up this morning and I was just in a good mood. And I thought, let's do the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Or let me go to the podcast, I should say. But that was pretty much it.
That's crazy. I had the exact opposite feel. I'm just kidding. I thought to myself, the last thing I want to do.
Well, technically, if this is the last thing you do tonight, then it is the last thing.
Exactly. The
You
last
wanna
thing
do
I want to do is the podcast. That's why we're here so late.
Yeah. I was down to get another 3-hour session of Pokemon after.
That's crazy.
Gotta take it up with her. She's the one that
Doing like
is the driver.
yeah.
Y'all have school in the
Unfortunately.
morning.
I got work. I mean,
Jason's a
I gotta be
savage
up
when
at
it comes to
7.
that.
yeah.
Are you okay?
Night owl and early bird.
No candy. No.
No.
If you eat candy, you are going to be in trouble. We're going to go straight home. Put that candy back.
He just munches the candy. He's like, yes.
I wanted to go home.
But yeah, like Jason's the king of that type of stuff though, cause like I've stayed up with
Roping
this
you
man.
in?
Roping you in, man. He'll rope you in and stay up with him until like 4 or 5, sometimes 6
Yeah,
or 7 in the
definitely.
morning.
Yep.
Listen, if they didn't have work, I would literally just fall asleep on this couch and let y'all do you.
What time do you guys have to go to work?
I gotta be there at 9.
Yeah, too early for me to get up and drive him home before he drives to Atlanta.
I gotta be up at 7 so I could make you up. One
Fortunately, we're not in Atlanta, but still too long, too early.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Tough.
That first shift's a rough one too.
Beginning
Yeah,
of
it's
the
a
week.
rough one. All sun,
Yeah.
All sun.
all sun. It's outside in the
For
sun.
like 3 hours.
3 hours straight.
Yeah. Mine's the opposite. I'm pretty much like 10 hours inside
In a cold cave dwelling.
in a dwelling.
Cold cave dwelling.
Serving.
I cut open Aloe today. That was super fun.
Cut up an aloe.
Yeah.
Did you use any?
Yeah, I mean, I saved it all. But we have this one. I wanted to buy an aloe plant, and all of them there were like, there were a couple that were like super pretty and blah, 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 but they're super thin. And I was like, well, I want to like use my plant. I don't want to just like have it out. And so I got the one that was struggling, but there were like 3 or 4 bases in them. And then today I was looking at them, I was like, I should just cut them. And so I cut all the outsides and like kept the inside so it can keep going. But I didn't want to just waste it, so I scooped it all out. It was such an uncomfortable
Why did
texture.
you scoop it all out? Why
But
didn't you
so
leave it inside?
pleasing, too.
It would have stayed.
Yeah, but I wanted the...
What'd you put it
I
in?
blended the skin and I fertilized everything else with it.
I would
Super
use
good.
it in my
So what is the main function, or like what is the main
But I kept
purpose
the
of
gel.
aloe?
There's so many.
So
it's
many.
good for your gut.
It's a
Yeah,
healing.
wait, hold on. He just did a school
herb.
project and he had
Healing
to
herb?
name several
Or plant.
plants and what their medicinal function were. Do you remember aloe?
On the spot.
You didn't know aloe? Yes,
On
I
the
did.
spot.
Do you know?
He said I use
No,
spark nuts.
but you can use it for I don't remember.
What do you put
Too many
aloe?
things.
Yeah,
Too many good options. That is.
Line.
But there's a
I don't know
lot.
what to
Are
choose.
you okay? If you're asking for candy, the answer is no.
Finish your food.
But there's a lot of
the
really
Carter
good things.
cast.
Like
Carter's-
my hands are the softest they've ever been
The
because of it.
moisturizer.
I need a moisturizer.
Sunburn.
It's so yeah.
Burns in general.
My hands be cracked all year
Yeah,
long.
well, like the first time we cut it off, right? Calvin broke
It's,
it up, and I had sunburn. And I rubbed all of it on my back, and it healed it pretty much in like
Yeah.
one day. It was so
Because
good.
it's pure cut aloe.
Aloe.
It's not
Insides too if you
it's
drink
not like
I need it. My
mixed
hands be
with
cracked all year.
minerals and oils and no, it's straight aloe. And so like scooping it out, it was such a weird feeling, but it was super cool because it was weird to think about. The plant is the gel. Like the gel is
The
what's
meat of the
inside.
plant.
Yeah, like there's meat inside a plant.
They have the big
Slit.
ones at Sprouts. They sell the big ones that are like this big. They're like this long, and the bottom's probably like this wide. And it gets to like that wide, maybe the top. But I used to buy those all the time. That's really good for your hair.
What does aloe do?
Aloe, you can use it for rashes. If you're like super itchy. And stuff like that. I also used to tear up my mom's aloe plants.
Yes,
I
Why
used
would
to
you-
break
why'd
the
you do
tips of
that?
them off
satisfying.
because it's fun.
It's fun to. Okay.
Yeah, it was like
Is it because like the sliminess of it, or
Yeah.
like okay?
That's really triggering to me, though.
are
that
you
cut-
okay?
What? Your son or?
We need a Carter count for this episode in the corner.
All right, how
Every
many
time
you
he
think so
knocks.
far?
We're
How
at
many
four
I think
think?
it's
right now.
four, yeah.
We're 4. We're pretty strong consensus at 4. So.
Are we counting the very first one that I said this is going to be a rough podcast?
Yes.
Yes. And doorknobs is extra.
All right, so that's 5 now.
2 for the doorknob.
Get a little ticker at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
Quarter count. What?
What'd you say?
Your nugget couch?
Nachos.
Yeah, go eat
Nachos?
them.
We might as well just brought him on the podcast.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm saying he's so. Can you see over there?
See what?
Over there. And
Where
over
he's
there.
sitting?
We could maybe put him on the phone and he'll like give him something to watch on the phone and he will.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is kind of cut off, I think. I'm pretty sure the edge of it is like where I'm at right now.
Or we could put him in that corner.
So technically he could be over there. But he might be.
I don't know what's more functional for us. We'll stick it out for now.
It's up to you guys. It's cool. You can always pause it.
Yeah, we can always pause and just play again.
The
But
first ever cut.
You just restart the podcast.
well, if anything, just pause the video.
Yeah. No, I'll just keep it running, but then I'll just cut it.
Isaiah, what's
6.
up?
Sit.
What do you have?
Chips.
That or we give Jackson a monologue.
He has chips. Where did you get chips?
The ones that were on the counter.
You okay? You can eat them. Have fun. You want more? I don't have any more cheese. I don't have any more.
Yeah, you could eat the chips.
You can have the chips, but I don't have cheese.
All right, he's got his chips.
He looks like he's alright.
We'll see.
Hopefully.
I hope that you can hear him. Honestly, that'd be so funny.
I feel like we should just cut that section.
Yeah, I will. I probably will. Honestly. Where we were? Aloe.
Aloe.
But there's a lot of good things with aloe. And in the full circle, and the main reason I went to go get the aloe was because it helps other things root very, very well. Like you put some, like you literally just stick it in aloe water.
That's like a rooting hormone.
It'll push it to root.
Interesting.
And so it's like if you have an aloe plant, you're making more of other plants and getting. And so yeah, it was the start of my like cyclical, and that was kind of dope.
What does that mean?
And I just have what cyclical?
Cyclical?
Yeah, it's happening within a
Dope.
cycle.
Happen within a cycle?
Yeah.
What?
Continually happens.
Like
Aloe?
like the
Aloe?
like the
or-
day and
No, no,
night
no,
cycle
like
is
being
cyclical.
able, like growing the aloe to root,
Gotcha.
rooting plants.
Yeah, aloe grows so slowly it stresses me out. That's why I don't like aloe like that. I've never tried to grow it.
Oh, you just spent 10 minutes talking about it. Then I like it.
That's why I always bought it from the store.
Heard.
Because then I don't have to worry about growing it myself. But it's like my grandmother had one aloe plant my entire childhood, and it would take like a year to grow back one of the pieces I broke off. Like that's just too stressful for me.
This is
Patience.
a slow grower. Yeah.
That's cool,
It's
though.
a grower, not a shower.
The art of using a material to its fullest,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
using that,
like,
I thought it was
using what's
my
now looked at as like gritty
I
trash.
had some jokes already that I was
You
like,
know,
I
and
guess
then
I
using
shouldn't
that,
say
recycling it too.
That's the really dope part because I've done a lot of looking into that, like just the natural ways to help plants, and there's so many things that you just throw in the trash that you could be putting in a garden. Like case in point, one of my favorites to do is we usually get the rotisserie chicken from like one of the wholesale marts, and we'll cook it in different or use it in different ways, and then you just boil it down so all the excess meat comes off it. Bake the bones to dry them out and blend them, and it's some of the best fertilizer you can give a plant because it's bone marrow, so it's phosphorus, it's calcium, it's all the things it's sucking out of the soil, and so you're able to just completely replace it. And it's basically, the way I view it is borrowing the circle of life, because chicken would eat the plant, chicken would die to fill the plant. So since I don't have said chicken, I'm still gonna use the chicken to fuel the plant,
Yeah, that's cool.
since I'm eating the chicken.
That's dope.
Interesting.
And if once I get chickens, I can feed the chickens.
Oh, yeah.
Feed the chickens to the
Excess
plants.
In the backyard.
The blackberries are gonna fruit soon. I'm super excited.
Yeah, the
for that. They're
jalapenos
getting
are about to come
the
out, too.
jalapenos are-
I
yeah.
said
Wow.
I think I gave the blackberries a month.
The jalapenos are interesting.
Give it a week.
for sure.
Eddie, you're gonna trigger me.
I think that
That's
one,
spice.
the one that started before everything else, because it's starting to turn. It's turning color. Yeah, it is. So did I. I was out there for
Give it a
hours
week.
today.
I give it a month.
I
Make
actively
some
watched the
cheesesteaks,
color
throw some
change.
jalapenos on there.
Some jalapenos.
That's-
Jalapenos will probably be done in like 2 weeks.
No. You are seriously underestimating how these things work.
You guys should be like vlogging the garden.
I try to
Thought
keep
about
up
it.
with some of it. But my thing was I wanted to have all of it and then do it once it was done, because people have a hard time paying attention to things. Like if you post something and then you don't have if you don't have the immediate
End result.
end result, they lose interest.
You need
very
the 8
Well,
weeks
it's
ago,
also
the
Yeah.
4 weeks
So
ago,
like I feel like
2 weeks ago, 1
the
week
show,
ago, today.
like the pages or the shows or whatever that I see take off best is one short form video or a couple short form videos of things happening. Like, okay, I'll say like one short form video of beginning to end, okay, and then multiple short form videos of different processes, like the individual processes from beginning to end. And then so the people who have like a very small attention time span, or who just want the instant gratification of watching something and seeing the end result, they'll watch those. But then you can have your individual videos that you post of like your long format videos of each process, but almost put them out at the same time. Not at the same time, but maybe within a month to 2 months of each other. So you're constantly keeping them engaged.
True.
So I'm trying to just keep everything on my phone that we do. But I haven't really done the best job at that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard to document shit as you do it.
Yeah, my flowers, I did a little bit better at that, just because they're in the house. And it gave me something to do throughout the day. But the blackberries and everything
7.
happened so quickly.
The other one was kind of like a double tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8.
Are you alright?
What?
What do you need?
Huh?
You don't
Nothing?
need anything?
Okay, are you...
Are you okay?
As geek.
Okay,
Nothing.
you want to go sit on the couch? Why? Okay, you can sit on the floor. Go have fun.
Just gonna cough in the distance. Satisfied with the result.
As geek.
Nothing.
All right, so Jackson, what you got in your mind, man?
I don't know.
What you got? Any idea? Any topic?
How was the beach?
Oh, it was good.
Fire.
So interesting.
What'd you do at the beach?
we kind of just went down to the beach. We went to restaurants. We did an escape room.
What
Okay.
theme was it?
Did you make
was
it
like
out?
vacation. No, we only needed like 3 things to do. Then we were done. We didn't get it. It was only an hour, and we didn't have enough time to finish it.
Damn.
They're harder than kind of hard.
What was its theme?
Vacation. Like you had to escape from this like volcano thing.
Damn.
That's pretty cool.
So you passed up, got
Yeah.
burnt up by a
We all
volcano.
died.
Tragic. I've never done one of those. That's cool.
You
I've
never
al-
done
I've
an
done
escape
2.
room?
No.
Word.
I've never done it either.
No.
Bruh, what?
That was
That's
fun.
what we gotta do.
The only couple
Yeah.
times that we ever like went to like it was a potential to do it, it was just like, it just seemed overpriced, and we were just like, ah.
There's one.
But I would say 500.
Title of this one is Ryan's Back to Work.
Yes, sir. It's actually there's been multiple times where I'll be going through the week and I'll be like, oh my god, I gotta do a pot. I'm like, oh wait, no, I don't have to do anything. I already did it all.
We were so defeated after that.
No, I honestly feel so bad right now.
About
I think we just-
about ruining the
We
whole.
do a
No, I'm
hard
just kidding.
reset.
No, I have.
Hard reset.
Yeah.
You want to cut my aloe like I did?
Put it at the end, bonus clip.
No, I'm not gonna hard reset.
I woke up this morning for church
Leave that in there.
and I didn't eat anything. Did I have dinner last night? We had some grits last night, but it was super early. It was like at like 6, 7 o'clock. We had early dinner. And then I woke up this morning for church. I didn't eat anything. And then we went to church and I had myself an iced coffee. And then I didn't eat anything. And then I had a couple spoonfuls of grits. And then I didn't eat anything. And then I had another coffee. So I'm like really struggling right now. I'm crashing and I feel like trash.
Welcome to the podcast.
Well,
I'm
that's
feeling
it.
the same.
Yeah, he had
A
a
lot
coffee
of-
this
Jackson,
morning,
tell me-
so
alright,
an empty stomach.
Tell me about what you do when you're on the beach.
A lot of great vibes.
We went boogie boarding.
Okay.
So
Boogie.
there's like different flag levels. You know about those?
No.
There's like green, yellow,
Ocean's on Arrival doesn't
green,
know the flag
yellow,
level.
red,
Oh, for
double
the
red,
tide?
and purple. Yeah, tide. And
Yeah,
also
tide
like how.
flags.
So it was like red for the like first like 2 days, which was kind of fun. Then the rest were all like yellow, which is like medium.
Red
So-
was fun.
Yeah,
Red feels like danger.
yeah, red's danger.
He's like,
That's the
yeah,
fun
that's
part.
what makes it fun.
Well, it is very sad to watch to go on a boogie board and just no waves come and you're just
Yeah.
floating. You're not-
Last time I-
there's no boogieing around.
Last time I went to the
Just
beach,
bored.
it was just freaking jelly everywhere. Seaweed everywhere. Remember? That was that in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the
Went
seaweed.
to a bad spot, I guess.
There was that one time we went in the night when the waves were crazy.
Yeah, we
Remember?
got a couple good ones.
I think I was drunk.
Yeah, most likely.
vaguely remember this.
I do remember.
I remember.
occasionally
Yeah.
having good
I remember maybe like.
I remember
I
the
remember
moon
the
was
darkness of the beach, and that's about it.
The moon was out giving the light, which is dope.
How poetic.
Yeah.
So poetic.
So do you enjoy the beach, Jackson?
Yeah, it was fun.
Did
I
you do
miss
anything in the sand? Or
Remember
you just-
losing an
are you
Ocean
more of a
on
water
Arrival
guy?
bracelet at that beach
Yeah.
trip?
Water?
I remember
Yeah.
breaking the action replay on accident. I was so mad. I
What?
was really just upset because they're like the action replay.
Mm,
This is the last good one I had.
mm. And how'd you break it?
I broke it by like when you're loading up a code, when you're like loading the game after you inserted the codes, it's like there's this bar and you're not supposed to turn it off there, and I was like oh, I missed something. I was like to reset to go back, just like if you're playing the game you just reset it, and I reset it while I was doing that, and then it just fucked it up. But caveat to all that is that whatever I'd want to do I could technically do now.
Yeah.
Even updating, I'm debating if I want to spin it into a Pokemon side, but even updating the Fire Reds, we could actually go take the base copy of the game, update it, and re-upload it, and have like a more advanced, not
Sure.
what we're doing, but like just a more advanced version of that game.
It is interesting, like, just being able to, like, do that, like, pull a game and then go in and edit it.
Rework it.
Nowadays, it's not really the same, though.
No.
Especially with Nintendo, they don't really like you.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't like you touching their games at all, or their content, anything their intellectual or any of their property.
Interesting.
Nintendo does not rock with it.
Yeah.
Smart though.
Like,
Yes
yeah.
and no. There's pros and cons to that.
Yeah. I feel like for profit,
they're
I get
big
it. Like
enough
if you're
that
trying to
they're
stop people from
constant.
making money off of you,
Yeah.
like you're in a certain thing, in a certain space where like for example, let's say right now somebody started which we'd still probably shut it down, but somebody like started using our logo on a T-shirt, and they make like a ton of money. Let's say they make $2 million, but then that brings traction towards us. It's a double-edged sword because it's like now like they helped us really, but they also used us to make money.
There's a couple like the game developer tycoon. That's probably one of the first iterations I can think of, but it's where like you have the company, you hire the workers, employees, different things happen, and that's always one of the ones that I always found super interesting across all of them. That I played at least, it was always when somebody like ripped off your idea. If you just like sent them a letter and talked to them about it, it always grew both businesses.
Mm.
And if you sued them and try to make it stop, it always hurt you in the long run.
Mm.
And it's because if they're able to gain traction, obviously they're tapping into something you're not doing.
Yeah.
So as opposed to treating it like a weed, treat it like a symbiotic growth.
Yeah.
Where's your cup?
9.
9.
Okay,
Well, we're
grab
counting
it.
that one. The
Yeah.
last one was 8.
But
Then,
then
I feel like it should be 10 because I was a knock and a mama.
so then going into a company like Nintendo though,
Water bottle down there?
because Nintendo's already so successful, they don't really. I mean, everyone can always get bigger, but they don't. You could argue they don't really need the help. So even if you do create something that's off Nintendo, they would be like, we don't like shut it down because they're not. I feel like they don't care to have that like anyone doing
Okay,
what they're
Bobby.
doing type shit.
Yeah.
Because like Nintendo is like Sony and Microsoft are in that same battle. Like they back and forth with the consoles. No one compares the PS5 to the Switch.
That's true.
You compare the PS5 to the Xbox.
I mean, this
So Nintendo's always put itself over here, like these two. It's like the twins and then the little sibling. You know,
Yeah.
Microsoft and Sony are like the twins, and then Nintendo's like the little sibling. It's like the
True.
twins are competing because they're the older, and I don't even know if they're older. They're not probably not. No, are they? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But like in the
What?
metaphor, the twins are competing like competitively, but
Yeah.
then Nintendo is playing a different sport.
Definitely. I mean, especially in the beginning. Like in the beginning,
I like how then.
it really felt like Nintendo had a lot of the like more aimed at the kids. You know,
Yeah.
where especially like with the Wii and like Sonic and Mario.
And it's
stuff
really
like
smart.
that.
It's actually the smartest form of marketing is to target children. Because if you win a child's heart, like us with Pokemon, you have them for life.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Pokemon fan for life. That means if I'm someone who's gonna be paying money towards this thing, you can milk money from my pocket for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
Or however long you live.
Cause I remember like Xbox, like the first game that I even remember, like I would like to have would be Halo 3. It was like the first game I was like, it'd be cool to have Xbox because you
Yeah.
can play Halo. But ever since before that, I mean, we had a PlayStation 2, so we had those games. But a lot of times we were playing on our Game Boys, or I was playing GameCube or the Wii. So it was like I was very much content playing Nintendo games, you know. But then Halo 3 came out, and then I was like,
That was
once we
fun.
played that, it was like, oh shit, this is so
it's a
fun.
whole nother level.
Yeah, a whole nother level. Jackson, what games do you play, dude?
Rainbow Six Siege and Fortnite.
Oh, you play
Fortnite
Siege?
Call.
Who do you play with? Who's your operator?
His best friend.
No, who's your operator?
Doc.
Oh, your doc.
Yeah.
Okay. How long you been playing?
Try your best to speak into the mic, Jackson. You're kind of low.
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And you play as doc?
Yeah.
Why do you
So,
play as doc?
My brother. Cause he can heal you.
Is it the stims? Is it
Yeah.
the self heal? Is that why you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What were you gonna say about your brother?
Oh yeah. So my brother, he used to have Rainbow Six Siege, so I kind of just used to play on his Xbox, and now I got my own PlayStation, so I play Rainbow Six Siege on my PlayStation.
You play online?
Yeah.
Do you talk to people online?
Yeah.
Yeah, creeps.
How old do you think most of the people online you talk to are?
17 and older.
17 and older.
Yeah.
Who's your
that game does feel like an older
who's
game.
your
for sure.
attacking operator?
Probably. Let's see.
Like, if you want to keep it scooted forward, so yeah.
Probably.
Which is what?
drinks.
I think he needed love, Calvin. You might have missed that.
Everything but a little bit of love.
Oh, back to what I was
stick
saying.
on the
My
side.
Am I
oh,
still in
I sit on this side.
the shot if I'm sitting here?
my favorite attacking operator's probably Ying.
Yeah, but I mean it's different every time. I think it's good because I tried to line it up to this. Okay. Your favorite operator for attacking is who?
Ying.
Okay. Who else?
She's got let's see.
Well, no, you can finish because you got
Cause
one.
she's got the like flash things.
Like the
that are,
grenades.
super OP, yeah.
Interesting.
Probably Ace too, since he's able to go through like reinforced walls.
Is his like picture the dark gray one?
It's like the Ace cards.
Oh, I don't know if he was there when I was playing. Yeah. I
So
don't
he
think was
throws
there.
like this thing that goes through like reinforced walls, and that's kind of just why I like him.
Okay.
What games did you like before you you're playing this on the PS4 or
PS5.
PS5. So like, what games did you like before you got your PS5?
Call of Duty and Fortnite.
So like just like the
My-
first person shooter
Halo.
games.
Yeah, Halo. Yeah, on my
He was
Xbox.
on Halo for so long.
Halo is a great game.
Yeah, I'm
He
such a-
was Master Chief for Halloween for like every year.
Fire.
Dude, I'm
That's
such a.
I've had so much fun playing Halo. I gotta say.
That made me think of I thought of this the other day because I always circle back to that question I think you asked on an earlier podcast, which was like, what TV show would you bring for another
Oh yeah,
season?
would you bring back?
I think
No, that was a random topic.
yeah, but I'd transfer it to video games a lot. So I want to kind of pose that to the crowd. What video game do you think like you want to see on the next gen console?
Well, honestly, a Mario Super Strikers game with the old mechanics.
Before we say it, before you get into that, what do you think the next gen console is per se? Is it VR or is it
No,
like
it's not there
no.
yet.
okay?
They actually the next Switch actually just
I
got
was just
leaked.
about to say Switch, yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, because it was
Switch?
they got leaked originally in ads, like YouTube ads, where you'd be like the summaries, be like which next gen console you likely to pick, and it was like something else for Switch, was like Switch something else.
Yeah.
Got that before anything was released. That was like
That's a
released
tough
first.
leak because there's always those people that get the console like right before the new one comes out.
What was that?
You know, and if you would have waited, you could have just paid like an extra like $100 and got like.
Or
one
you
that's,
could have got
like,
the
years
other
newer.
one that's if it's cheaper now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a cheaper one now.
There's that kid who got like a lot of years in jail for
Yeah.
leaking the Grand Theft Auto stuff. Did you read about that?
Yeah, that and there's
Yeah.
another dude who got like insane trouble for hacking a Switch.
That's insane.
And he got like He got an insane amount of trouble.
Yeah, the kid was like 17 maybe or something. I mean, he got a ton because I mean it cost them like millions of dollars, like millions of dollars what he did.
Hot take
Sorry.
that kid he's not in jail.
Yeah.
That kid's working for the feds now.
yeah.
We've
That
had
was-
this conversation.
yeah.
They gave him you
We've
want
had
life?
this conversation off.
They
They
said
said we want you.
they said you want life or you want to work for us.
Uncle Sam wants you.
dead.
That boy's
Yeah.
working for them.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's set up.
And wherever they say he went, if they cover it up, wherever they say he's going, he ain't going there. He's over there now.
But
Yeah, he's a
what,
genius.
what video
Or an
game-
idiot.
Or what?
Both. Sometimes I
thing
think you have to
do
be both.
Want to see become a video game?
What'd you say?
What like story or thing?
It's so hard
you want
because
to-
story.
Yeah, because I think that about Ready Player One all the
I
time.
have
Oh.
I have one.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I have an answer.
No, I've seen it.
End of the world as we know it.
I have an
I've
answer
seen Ready
for both
Player
of
One
those.
for our audience members now.
I
Yeah, so I agree. It would be really cool. Sorry,
yeah, I
go
just
ahead
watched
with
that
your thought.
movie for the first time with you. It was really good.
I would
Yeah.
just be catching Chinese and selling them on the market, dude. I'd make a living doing that.
I'll
honestly.
sorry to cut you off. I'll always have a little bit of a fucking sting for that movie just because I remember one time I literally had this crazy dream, fell through 5 dreams and woke up, like 5 layers of the dream, wrote it all down, and next morning I go to Jason, I'm like, yo, I got this crazy movie idea. I like explain it, and he just goes, yo, he's like, have you seen Ready Player One? I was like, no. He's like, you should watch. So I watched it. I was like, motherfucker. Like 75% of my idea was all in that movie. I was like, damn.
Well, the good news is that's 90% of the movies on the market, so you still have a chance.
Oh yeah, just recreating it.
Yeah.
Go Ready Player 2.
All right. So what's your recreation?
The red
Ray?
controller.
It's gonna be. No, it's gonna be like. I couldn't think of it fast enough. Okay, the answer to that. Okay, to your 2 questions. 1, what game would I like to see on the next gen console? I would love to see a hyper realistic Papa's Pizza, Papa's Freezeria, Papa's Cakeria on like VR.
That would be dope.
I would play that for hours, or Pop Tropica.
Yeah, see, I knew you guys, you National Lampoon hating sons of bitch. I knew you.
I don't even know what National
Lampoon
Lampoon is. I can't hate on it. I don't even know what it is.
You guys never played Papa's Burgeria, Pizzeria?
You're kidding.
It's called.
You're kidding.
It's called Get a Minimum Wage Job.
Okay, I've had a
If I
minimum
wanna
wage
fucking
job
make
since I was 15.
pizzas, I'd work at Domino's.
Thank you. Yeah, listen.
I work at Papa's.
I felt
Pizzeria,
more.
man.
I felt more stressed playing Papa's Pizzeria than I ever did working.
Why
in
would
a
that's a terrible
barbecue.
sales pitch. You will be more stressed than you are at work.
You will feel like
overcooked.
it's
Kinda,
okay,
yeah,
Okay,
in a way.
listen. It's the best game.
It's
ever.
like, do you remember the kitchen style game?
Yeah.
I had us all play. It's
So,
similar to
you
that.
never. Okay, this was probably before your time because you guys are kind of old.
Well, after that.
I'll show you.
That's why.
Because I'm playing a very similar game to it right now.
No.
No,
So, did you
that's
ever
not
play
even the
Cool Math
same.
games?
You don't do this
At
is the
school?
same?
No,
Okay,
it's
so
not.
Let me see
Papa
what you're
playing.
was-
Because you're
What are you
filling
playing?
orders.
So
You have
annoying.
to make
It's
stuff.
okay.
Well, yeah, you gotta make this stuff. It's
Yeah.
basically you're doing this, but you're making
Yeah,
this
yeah.
stuff.
It was on. It was
I'm
on
not
Cool
playing
Math
that
games.
one.
Okay.
I'll
And
skip
so
this
you
round.
have.
A lot of times
So,
I
like,
hop on the
Papa's
games you guys
Pizzeria,
are playing,
you
but
have, like,
No, this
You have,
one's
like,
not
4
worth
different
you
pages
hopping
of
on.
I'm
This
skipping
is
this
something
one.
I
Okay,
just
and you
like.
can switch
He
between
doesn't
the
even
tabs
play
at the
this
bottom.
one.
see,
It's like in the game.
I have a
And
actually every once in a while,
the
like, I want
first
to play a new
tab
game. I go
is
and download
like
like 8
your
games,
when the
and then I
customer
filter
comes in and
through,
you
and
take
then I
their
delete the
order.
shitty
Your
ones,
second
and I get
tab
hooked on
is
one.
like your
I've been
grill or
playing
whatever it is. The second,
this
your
one,
third
and,
one
like, it's
would be
probably
like
the best,
decorating
like,
it,
IO
and your
style
fourth
game.
You ever
one
play,
would be
Soda
like
Dungeon?
putting their order
Yes,
together with
I
their
played the
chicken
heck
sitting
out of
there.
that game.
There's a second
Especially
But
one,
because
too.
I found
more
a
levels
patch
you get
for
through, the
my,
more
Kindle
people they
Fire,
have coming into
so I was able
order.
to, like,
So you have to
skip
keep
a
flipping the
crap ton of
tabs and
levels and
keeping
get to
tab
the end
everything,
game,
and there's
and game
timers
was
on your
lit.
food that's cooking. And then
Yeah.
the
Where
longer
you,
you
like,
take or the
reset, right?
crappier
Like,
something
the
is
dimension
decorated, the
thing?
lower
Yeah.
score you get.
And so, like,
And they
because
also
I
have food
wanted
critics
to
that come
download
in
the patch,
that will
but
give you
couldn't.
bad scores.
But
And so
I
then at the
had
end of the
started the
end of the game is like the end of the
download
day,
and
and you
so I
get tips
basically
based
got
on how
part
good or
of
how
it,
bad you were.
so it didn't
And then you can
corrupt
level up
my
and you
game,
get
so it
different
still counted
outfits
as a
or
real game.
whatever. And there's like there's
But
a
I
bunch
just,
of
like,
different
got a
restaurants.
crap
So like
ton
there's
of stuff.
pizza, there's bagels, there's
That was
cupcakes, there's milkshakes,
That
there's
game was
ice
fun.
cream. It was really fun.
Yeah, that game just seems a little too realistic to what I do.
I don't like those games that it's like.
Okay, so
Honestly,
What about Pop Tropica?
so Cool Math. So it's on Cool Math Games. That's what she
Ooh,
said.
Pop Tropica would be- Yeah, Cool
The
Math
game.
games.
Okay, if I remember Cool Math games, my main games that I used to play were Raft Wars.
Yeah.
Raft Wars is fun.
I used to play that game where you had to like, where you were like the assassin and you tried to snipe
Uh-huh.
the people from, and you're like stick figure assassin.
that
or
was one that you
whatever.
couldn't get caught playing at school.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then the third one would be just I would like to do. I did like the jigsaw puzzles in there. I like
Yeah,
I like
I did
putting.
those
I like
a
doing like
No,
the graphic
rotate and
puzzles.
roll.
Yeah,
Don't forget about
Oh,
that.
okay, rotate and roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Those
guys
are
ever
the-
play the like it was like an escape room one where you had to like choose what he used to kill
No.
each person?
Oh, it was in like the prison.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there were
yeah.
a couple.
The
like,
thing
you were
about Cool
breaking out
Math
those
games,
are
I feel like
dope.
those that I really played it the most like in school.
Uh-huh.
So it's like once you found like a game or two that you liked, like you didn't have so much time to explore the games. It was almost like you had enough time to like get a game and play it for as long as you could play it
So-
before.
One game I've wanted to see for pretty much ever is on Zach and Cody. When Zach got hooked on that, it was like a Everlife or something like that. But it was basically like Sims, but like multiplayer Sims. You played with everybody and you had a tail and da 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 da.
I think I remember this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
remember- yeah, I
game,
remember
I
that.
always wanted to play that game. Because in my brain, it was like open world Sims. Like open world RPG Sims. I feel like that would be dope.
So many people have played The Sims. I never really got into The Sims ever.
I played The Sims.
There's
I
a
was a
video.
I never played this one.
There's the video on TikTok.
I like
right now,
Sims. I never really got into
And
it.
it's
Yeah.
I
like
liked it.
it's the sound of like a rocket ship like gearing up and ready to take off. And it was like girls after buying a PC that has the power of a like a space station, and it just shows the Sims loading screen, and they're just like sitting there with their coffee dancing.
Oh, what?
Space Station.
Space Station.
Your
Sims
phone
was-
that you have in your pocket has more power and more capability than the original technology they used to like land on the moon.
Believe that.
Sims DLC was some of the only
Jack's
EA
like, what
DLC
the
that's, like,
fuck?
worth it.
I mean, I can go to the moon.
Marketing.
It's like,
And I think that's where they went, right?
that were the calculations.
Jackson, you got a game that you would want recreate it, or a game that's not created now that you would want to see?
I don't know. I don't have one.
All right, hot take. Which honestly, there's already kind of a game to this. I feel like Daisy is kind of this, but a little more structured, like the Hunger Games movies. So like each Hunger Game map, VR would go crazy with that. So like,
You know, it'd be cool. Fucking Among Us with like an AR Among Us, but you could set the boundaries to wherever you're at. AR is like augmented reality, so
where
like
you
basically
still
it's
see the
it's-
real world,
Yeah, it's,
but it's virtual overlay.
so it'd be dope because you could like say you could like the house. We could map out. We could draw a line and map out the whole house, and then Among Us map could fill the house, and we could all be running around. But it could be like half AR, where if like you're down a hallway, you can't see to your left. It would like the vision's blocked, and then we could run around and play like whoever's with you. You could even go to the park and do it, like line it up. I think that'd be cool.
I don't know. I think maybe a Yu-Gi-Oh open world game would be fire.
I'd have always wanted to play a Yu-Gi-Oh, open world Yu-Gi-Oh game.
My hope is that if I'm being like crazy dreamer, we build this Pokemon game. I build my card game, somehow software engineer that, and then I somehow go to Konami and make them make a Pokemon open world game.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh open world.
I mean, I've always dreamed of being able to put the card down and the fucking hologram pops
Yeah.
up and Blue Eyes comes out.
It has to,
I
this
think
is.
that about all of them. Like Bakugo would go hard.
Yeah, we never
I
really
don't
played
know.
it. Though.
Yeah,
I played.
I never really-
Bakugo.
we
I played
You know what's
had 'em.
crazy
hell out of
though? We
Bakugo.
had the very original ones that were. I think the very original ones was that red one and that light blue one.
Yeah, the dragon.
We had those before they were even out in America because we had them from when we were in
You
Canada.
talking about Bakugan?
Yeah, Bakugan.
Bakugan.
Bakugan. I was thinking Baku because I was thinking like My Hero, and I was like,
Yeah.
Bakugan.
Yeah, we went to Liberia and got the original Bakugan.
You got the knockoff.
Yeah, I got the Nakugans.
The OG knockoffs. The ONs.
Yep.
But I feel like
The
I have one
Nakubans.
more game that I don't remember.
Okay.
Yo, look. If there is gonna be a game like that does take like have the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh when you put it up, or even the Pokemon or the Among Us, it's gonna be something new. Like all the big companies that already have established shit will follow it, but something new. That's the only way it's gonna happen because it's always just the next step. But all the big companies are too slow, and the reason why is because they're like probably because they're too big and there's so many checks and balances. Ideas. Oh, they already have an agenda for the next 4 years. Well, if you already have an agenda for the next 4 or 5 years, then how are you gonna implement some shit that only comes out next year or the 2 years after that? You know what I mean? So the big companies are too big and they don't take risks. They play the safe game all the time.
I think what Eddie brought up earlier, I think that's a good point. What even would be the PlayStation 6 or the Xbox? What do you?
I don't even know what the difference is between the last console and this one, other than my disc drive.
Well, 5
working.
and 4 are definitely PlayStation 5
I
and
was
PlayStation
gonna
4 is
say
definitely
that.
faster. Like 5
Yeah.
feels smoother than the
And
4.
then
Yeah, that's true.
controllers.
But then that's all you're doing. All you're doing is
But-
upgrade. Then give us a freaking piece of equipment that we can open our thing and plug in with a new hard drive
Definitely.
every time you upgrade the thing. Like, why are we buying a new console?
Well, if you just let us trade them in, it doesn't matter anymore.
Or the trade-in system.
Yeah.
To PlayStation 2, PlayStation.
Because if all
4
you're
for
doing
the
is getting a
PlayStation
software
6.
update and it updates the CPU, and then maybe there's a piece of hardware that's a bit better. All we have to do is switch the hardware and do the software update, and that's all you have. So why are we buying a new console? That's all we need. But it's of course the marketing.
That's
But it
I don't
has
know.
to be
What could
pivotal.
what could there be? What could be next? That's like,
Which also
so
is
great
why
that
we
it-
should credit Nintendo, because they actually do take it to the next level.
They
Like,
do.
The Wii
Every
was the
console
next
is a
level.
different-
The Switch is the next level. Like, they do actually take it to the next
they
level.
do.
Takes
Agreed.
like forever, but
The
they
DS
do
to
it.
3DS, having 3D on it, even though it should always hurt my eyes, it's the
Yeah.
next level. They always take it to the next level. So
But tell it
I
to
mean,
them.
shit. The Wii was like one of the most like groundbreaking video game systems ever to drop.
Yeah.
Like especially
Yeah.
at the time.
My parents gave that to me to soften the blow of their divorce.
Oh, Wii.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know how we used to say it's we?
Is that what
Well, now you're gonna say it's we.
Not you. It was before you. No.
Yo, I saw this.
The red one came out way later. What were the
Yeah.
way later? What was the difference? It was Wii and then Wii U.
Yeah.
The red one, you loaded the disc on the top, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got the red one, and I was upset because I got a divorce and he got a red a red Wii.
I do have to.
Yeah, but not till years later. Sorry,
It hasn't
this
made
is
you
not
feel
therapy.
Sometimes it's
okay.
Raise your hand if your
Therapy.
parents are divorced.
Hey, shout out.
Must be nice.
Shout out.
Yay, healthy
Shout out
relationships.
actual healthy families.
Healthy relationships, yay.
You know what though?
We make Eddie
Everything
feel
came
bad
out
because his
original
parents love him.
person. I'm a divorced parent.
Facts. There you go.
So you're saying that
We
because
say
your
that
parents
how
don't
it
love each other, that they don't love you. Now this is a therapy session. Why do you guys feel like your parents don't love you?
I think that their relationship is a direct statement to how they're not able to love, therefore they can't love their children.
Period.
Whoa.
I'm just.
What does Jackson have to say about
I
it?
want to see
Takes the mic away from him.
Jackson was about to speak.
3D open world. Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
I'm ready. I'm
I wanna
ready to
see
say what
it.
mine is. We got so deep all of a sudden. I just want to say what my remake is.
Just all you have to do is interrupt whoever's talking.
All right,
It's
so
already-
my remake is,
Open
right?
the heart.
World
We really are.
Google dinosaur.
I want an open world.
I was literally thinking that.
No,
No,
no.
Google
The
dinosaur
dino game. The
Stop
dino
it.
game.
I want a game that you start off by getting like you get shrunk down or something, then you get eaten, and the whole game is you have to like navigate the open world of someone's body to escape.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No,
That's what I want.
They have that on the Magic School Bus website.
Simpsons did it.
Anatomy Park.
Magic School Bus.
That'd be lit. And then
Honestly,
you start and like you get sent to the bottom of the toe or some shit. Like you're
That'd
in
be
the toe.
cool.
For sure.
like
That would be
a
pretty- have you seen-
Fortnite-esque game where like you
And it's like a
drop
whole world in there, like Rick and Morty.
and like
That sounds
but
like
the
you
game
seen
never
that
ends.
Yeah.
Like you can continue to
That's what I
grab
want.
materials, pick up stuff all on
Actually,
the way.
that
but
should
if your
sound
character
pretty well.
dies, you restart.
That's like
That's the
Daisy.
Oh, okay, facts.
Daisy is
There's a
crazy.
couple-
Imagine coming up with ideas that have already been done.
Well, obviously the game's not good enough. Otherwise, it would be
Oh,
like the
you
best thing
should-
around.
you should
So.
check it out.
Yeah, fair.
You say coming up with ideas that have already been done because I had a Ready Player One moment right here because I was like, there should be a game where you're playing episodes. And I was like, somebody did that. Where did that happen? And I realized it was Ready Player One. I don't know if it made it. I haven't seen the movie yet. I read the book.
The
Oh yeah. I remember you saying that.
With Daisy, the thing about Daisy that really triggers me is like you could literally work for a year straight on what you're doing, and then that day just like screw up and die, and then you lose everything you've done. But the guy that you watch, I
That's
don't know what his
realistic,
name
though.
was. It is, but it's also
Wait, you lose your
November.
whole world too?
You don't lose your
No,
whole world
it's-
because it's like an open. Is that what you call it,
It's
an
a
open
map,
world?
Yeah, it's a map.
So couldn't you just go back where you
everybody's on the
died?
same map. Yeah.
You
but
just come back, but you come back with
typically
nothing.
You get raided and you're like
Yeah.
just boned.
But
And
the-
so when you spawn forever.
Is
The
that the game
guy-
that like every 6 months the server resets?
Yeah, it depends on the server, but yeah.
Well, that's Rust. I was thinking Rust.
The guy that
It's
he
very
watches
similar, it's just a little more realistic.
had a fun video. He was like, I ran the biggest mafia in DayZ, and it's like he works his way up and literally runs a mafia in this game, and like it's so funny because like it exists 24/7. You know
I
what
like
I mean?
watching
Like
That's
I
awesome.
don't know,
DayZ
it's weird.
players because like if you're good at the game, there's so much control to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
DayZ. Yeah, that's my favorite one to follow.
I wanna remake the Teen Titans games.
Mm.
That's what I would do. I feel like that'd be dope. Just focus on them and have like a, like I don't know, just like the aspect of going through each character, like have each one of them have like a plot line. And you go through that plot line. Eventually, you go battle. What I can't remember what his name was, but Raven's dad.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe the Avatar Last Airbender, if they made a real good game for that.
I was thinking that also.
Maybe not be Aang, but you're your own
Okay.
avatar and you're like learning all the
You take
things.
your
And
own
you have to,
journey.
Design
Yeah.
your own avatar.
yeah, and you have to go places to like learn the ability, like Skyrim, but for Avatar. Like you learn the ability. You go to the water tribe and they give you the water stuff.
I think the Deathloop aspect would be cool too, like where you can go into someone else's game.
Oh yeah, Deathloop was a really cool game. I don't think it was talked about enough as it should have been. I think that's because it came out early in the PS5 days, kind of early, and
Yeah, not enough people had the console to play.
and it was also it was exclusive to PS5. But and PC. But Deathloop was this game where you had your own single player world, and you could turn this option on and off. And most of the time I turned it off because I didn't want people fucking with my shit. But if you turn it on, which was fun, like so randomly someone could just join your world and they're somewhere in your world and their goal is just to kill you. And if they kill you, it resets your loop and you have to restart that whole loop. And if you kill them, then it was like a bonus you can get there was like I don't know, some legendaries you can get from it. And one of the game modes was like you could just go raid people's worlds and you could unlock different shit by like if you got the kill or you like whatever it was. That concept is kind of cool of having like I don't know, the ability to just be able to raid someone's world and do some damage, but maybe not ultimate damage, like all your life's work is gone. But I don't know.
Was it something where you could have multiple maps at a time? So if you didn't want this one to get messed up, you could have another one?
No, okay, so the premise of the game was that you're stuck in a time loop.
Right.
And there was 4 sections of the day, and there was like 4 or 3 areas you could go to. So each section of the day you had to choose which area you're gonna go to, and you had the goal that you were trying to find is the perfect loop, and that was like you had to find all the things to undo the loop. Actually, a brilliant game. I 100% the game. I got all the achievements. I did everything. I had all the guns, everything. And it's a brilliant game. Like everything about it, the writing, even when you get to the end of the game. So, but your loop was like your loop for the day. If you got killed, you'd start in the morning, and there was some loot that you could like. As you progress through, you'd unlock ways to keep the loot when you respawn. But for the first like 10 cycles you do, maybe not 10, but for the first couple cycles you do, you just lose everything every time.
Oh, interesting.
And but you're gaining information every time you go. You gain some information, and you gain some information, and then eventually you have new ways and means, and then you have to do the perfect loop. And that moment is actually really cool, especially the first time you play it, because that's the first time you're like, oh, I got to do all like I even wrote down like what I need to do for each one because it's like I'm keeping track of what I need.
Right.
And hit the certain spots and not trigger certain alarms because that will do this later. If I get caught here later in the day, this is gonna happen. That can't happen for me to be able to get here.
Right.
Really, really well written game. That was a really good game. Not as popular as I feel like it could have been.
Yeah, I've definitely never heard of it, but it sounds interesting.
I told Trey because Trey was talking about streaming. I was like, you should stream that game. But keep it on where people can raid your world because that'll keep it more exciting.
Right.
I turn that off and on because the person still raids your world even if you turn it off, but it's just an NPC. Yeah.
I told Trey since he likes to play a bunch of games, I said that he needs to like play a game, get a clip, go to another game, get a clip, and like go in rotation. Where now the next time you go, say it's Rocket League, when you go back to Rocket League, you gotta outdo the clip you just had already done, and just constantly like outdo your clips from each game. Like that, and then that way you can still play all the games. And then when someone finds you, they see that you play all these different games versus just one or whatever. Yeah. That's what I told him to do, but we'll see. All right, Jackson, I want to know what is like your perfect day? Like if you wake up and you can just by the time you go to bed, you're like, this is a great day. What's involved in that?
Probably getting to hang out with my family.
Okay,
and then
nice.
Who's your favorite family member?
Don't answer
I'm not
that.
saying that. I'm not saying
Smart.
that.
Definitely not breathe.
No, it's all of y'all. I love all y'all.
Oh, there you go. Equal love.
Don't lie
So,
to me.
getting to hang out with my family, and then also probably get to go somewhere. Probably.
Where'd
like,
you go?
What were you gonna say?
Probably to like a lake or something.
Okay.
Or like a river.
So you wake up, you chill with your family, you all go to the lake.
Get to go fish.
Fish a little bit?
Hang out with my cousins.
Okay.
Then by the time I go to bed, I'm like, that was the best day of my life.
Max, you didn't eat anything? You don't need
So
to
you
eat?
don't have to drink or eat anything?
You don't need to eat anything? You're good? Cool.
That's crazy.
You want to play any video games? No. All right. Interesting.
I'll tell you my perfect day.
Let's go around the room.
Yeah, in order. So I'm next, obviously.
Start with a glizzy.
Yeah. No.
Wake up, throw 2 glizzies in the
Double
microwave.
double fist.
I'm gonna leave out everything inappropriate with my perfect day.
Glizzy. And
I
then
wake
it's time to go to bed.
You know, even the small things matter to me. I wake up and I brush my teeth because it makes me feel good. Maybe shower in the morning, but sometimes I don't like to shower right away.
Oh, Jason's gonna go through everything, and we're gonna give us
Nah.
an
No,
itemized
we
list.
want to hear it, Jason. We want to hear it.
It's like 8:15 beat off.
See, it changes on the time
Get the
period.
morning beat off.
Late
So I'll give myself, like, I wake up.
In the studio.
I don't know, maybe make a
Record
coffee
this.
or some sort of
For
energy supplement.
hours.
I'm gonna say it's this changing all the time, but probably I would say just 3 hours of like something creative that I'm working on, whether it's music or now the programming and stuff. Have some time to do that. Then go get lunch. And then somewhere, I don't know, it depends on the day. Hit all the green lights. Not have to deal with any terrible drivers. I'd be looking at all the green lights. Hella hard, like, who raised you? Get home nice and safely, chill, watch some TV, and go to bed. And then I don't know, hang out, play some sports outside. I always like that.
When now he gets
More creative
older,
stuff.
I'm gonna tell him your perfect day had nothing to do with him.
You know, he's there the whole time.
He's there for the morning beat
specifically
up.
Oh my god.
And the
Alright,
8:30
just to
glizzy.
be clear.
And then
Shout out to my.
I didn't say anything about who I'm with, just for fair notice. I was gonna do that in the second round. I'm kidding. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was really just thinking about in my own perspective what I'm doing throughout the day.
Shout out to Wim. When Tim was here, in the morning, like right when he would wake up, he would like make a coffee and he'd go make a beat in the studio. So he'd be like, "Got my morning beat off." It's so geek.
Yeah, we were trying to like everyone make a beat a day.
Yeah.
Try to like just build. We ended up making like 80 beats in
We did a
that
lot of.
time.
That was fun.
Most of them are just sitting in a file now.
Alright, so I guess we're on to me. My perfect day, right?
I didn't even finish. That's cool.
You said you went to bed.
No, and then I stay up till like 5 a.m. doing creative shit. And then I go to bed.
Beat offs.
And then I go to my bed and I watch YouTube for another hour.
And you go to bed at 7 a.m.
I go to bed at 7, then wake up at 9 a.m. the next day. Do it
And you
again.
don't feel bad, that would be a
And not be affected by the sleep.
Yeah.
But be able to enter a dream state within that.
Enter perfect REM for.
Yeah, perfect REM. I have
I
a
probably feel more rested. for
Lucid
solitude
dreaming.
of REM sleep
Astral
than I
project
do
for
on
4
my
hours and
like
then come back home.
Yeah.
sleep.
Honestly, that I just really for me, just getting a nap in, I can if I was gonna pass out at 12 because I'm just too tired. If I got a nap in, anywhere from 9 to 12 for like an hour, actually before anywhere from 9 to like 11, for like an hour, me passing out at 12 can push to like 5, 6 a.m. Just that I just need that one little extra hour of power. And I'm
It's my hour of power.
I'm golden. Hit the hyperbolic chamber and then I'm off.
Dwayne's perfect day.
Dwayne's perfect day, right?
Wake up. Go
Wake
to Jason's
Wake
house.
up in my own sweet world.
Morning glizzy.
Yeah, wake up, get the morning glizzies in the microwave. I'm just kidding. All right, so
and add some grass to it.
I feel like I would want to be somewhere already when I wake up. You know what I'm saying? So like,
technically you're always somewhere when you wake
but
up.
I mean like somewhere like I'd want to be.
Somewhere not here.
Right?
Somewhere nowhere
So,
near
like-
your vicinity.
Somewhere nowhere near you.
I don't know. I don't want to travel. I'd want to travel. You know what I'm saying?
So you wake
like,
up. Okay. So well you can't just say somewhere. You gotta say.
Let's pick.
Could be different every day. The perfect day ended up be like
Let's
Last
pick.
days.
perfect life.
There you go.
Go walk
the-
us
what's
through
the
the next 80 years.
Yeah, he's just like give me my whole life plan real
Yeah,
quick.
walk us through the next day by day, moment by moment. Walk us through next 80 years.
So you know, like from
Idiot.
after the podcast, you know, we're gonna talk about what we talk about after the podcast. You know, I'm gonna probably go take a.
Take a
This day sounds
shit.
awful.
Can someone else talk to me?
Alright, from the
Alright,
top.
alright,
From
from
the
the
top.
top.
Let's see.
So I would say I wake up like you know like in a cabin, you know,
Okay.
and we're
Cabin.
like wake up, make breakfast, get some juice,
Mountain
juice
cabin
up.
or a beach cabin?
I think like mountain cabin, mountain
Yeah,
cabin.
Beach is kind of played out.
Yeah, but like I feel like
Jackson's
yeah
very-
a little bit bigger than the cabin that we stayed in. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be too much bigger, but a little bit
A
bigger.
little bit bigger. That was a huge cabin. Well, which one?
The one that all of us stayed in.
Yeah, that was
This
the
will be a
cabin
bit
that
more
was-
loggy.
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 Like the one that
Log cabin.
yeah, the one that we more like when we stay with Aaron.
So
With a
I know
warm
you
pool.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice one.
I want to do that again.
So we wake up,
Yeah, we gotta make sure
make
the pool is
breakfast,
warm,
bacon,
exactly.
eggs, pancakes,
Or bring a heater.
scrapple. I don't know if you ever had scrapple.
What's that?
It's like the most. It's like worse than a glizzy, y'all. It's so good though.
What is it? What does it
It's
consist
like
of?
basically it's like all the things of a glizzy, right? But it's like this little like square patty thing that looks like it probably came from
The glizzy
McDonald's.
patty?
I do talk
And
about
it's
Scrabble,
like-
the board game.
And it's like gray. Like when you get it, it's gray. And like you cook it, it's like sausage kinda.
So it's like,
like liver.
Spam.
Kinda like Spam. But
That's
spam
really
it
fucking
tastes like sausage. It's so
disgusting,
gross. It's like all it's like intestines. It's so good though. So yummy. So like yeah, Scrapple's on the board, right?
Fucking disgusting.
So good, bro. So
Hey,
good.
like fucking throw a
Waking
piece
up
of
in
shit
a-
on the ground.
Waking
Fucking
up in a
baked turds.
$50,000 villa to eat.
Comment
Scrapple.
down below if you ever had Scrapple, man.
Zero
So
comments.
good.
Let us
Thumbs
know
down
what
for
you thought
Scrapple.
about it too.
Alright, comment down below if it's a thumbs up for Scrapple or thumbs down for Scrapple.
Hash browns are destroying.
Yeah,
Scrapple.
hash browns are beating Scrapple's ass.
You can't even compare them to potatoes. Hash browns
Exactly.
are potatoes.
Yeah, who's comparing them?
You can compare home fries and hash browns.
Can we get past Dwin's perfect morning?
No, I'm enjoying
See
it.
the
I'm enjoying it.
I'm all scrambled.
Actually,
Like,
my
I'm
perfect
all
morning.
scrambled.
My perfect morning is just
We're over
walking
you.
behind
We're over
Eddie.
you.
Is just walking behind Eddie and just roasting everything about him.
Scrapple, really?
Yeah.
Scrapple? Going for a glizzy patty right now?
Alright,
So
so you
good,
woke up
I'm
in a
telling
cabin, you ate some Scrapple, then what happened?
Juiced up.
It's like apples.
I feel like, going on a nice walk through the nature would be
Okay,
nice.
nature walk.
Try to find some like cool stones.
True.
And then enjoying rock finding.
Yeah. Lit.
The last couple of days we've been playing rock ball, so it's been fun.
Yeah. You
Uh,
guys are gotta
I
get
feel
over
like
and help us.
whitewater rafting.
Dwayne
be
looked-
lit.
You gotta get
Go
over and
whitewater
help us,
rafting.
Wait,
What?
I said they gotta get over and help us play.
Play some rocket ball with us.
I
What's
offered
that?
the whole digging to Ryan, and he laughed in my face.
Whoa, I didn't laugh.
He laughed in her face and
My
slammed
response-
the door.
My response was that I would be thinking about the album with every. I'd be like,
Bruh.
I should be doing the album.
And then I said he could come spread manure, and he said I do too much work already.
But just
My
quick,
feelings were hurt.
quick side
You should have asked
tangent.
me.
Excuse
Quick
me.
side
Jason, you're
tangent,
gonna come scoop
'cause-
manure?
You want to scoop poop?
I would do it.
All right, I'll
Wow.
let you know when.
While we were talking about like helping and making sure we were doing assignments, I looked over at the drill, and you not went to
I almost
shout
got
out
a drill
Aldi's. I
today.
like Aldi's. Went to Aldi's, found the perfect potting table that we were just talking about. Got home so excited to set it up, and then went. I was so mad.
The drill.
Yeah,
Where's the drill?
right there.
Oh, look
I
at
left
that.
it here.
He did it.
Well,
I brought it last
needs to
time.
be here.
Oh, we didn't put it up.
Yeah, I left it here. It was on my.
Do we didn't
agenda
have? We have
today.
the rack for it.
Yeah, we could have done it, but
Mm-hmm.
Hot take. You think this thing's gonna stay on the wall?
I mean, if you find your studs, then yes.
Yeah.
But
As
no.
long
We'll
as you
definitely
do it
find the
right.
studs.
also
Once you
the
find a
stand.
stand,
The stand takes away like 25 pounds or some shit. I looked it up. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
Alright, so I come back from my walk, right?
Right.
Go get lunch. I feel like tequila,
Who's David?
right? So margaritas and tacos is like the vibe.
You wanna go do that tomorrow?
No.
I work all day tomorrow.
Uh,
I'll give you a margarita.
I
You guys
don't-
want to come
maybe.
for margaritas?
I wanna
Maybe.
go for a margarita. I'm not-
I make great margaritas.
I'm not gonna get off until like 4.
Apparently, Ryan makes better margaritas than me, though. Some lady told me that.
Ooh, I do remember him
She
saying
said yours
that.
is really good. I was like, better than my brother's. She's like, his are really good too. And I was like, oh, so you like his better? It won't hurt my feelings. She's like, yeah. And I was like, that's cool. I'll tell her.
I'm nice
We
with
went
it.
And cried in the back room. In the back hall.
You know what's
In
crazy?
the walk-in.
The worst part about making
Oh, wait,
Margaritas
we have
and
to let
tacos,
Eddie
right?
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
ready to now.
I'll make the margaritas.
No one ever lets me finish talking, but it's all
finish.
good.
Your day's just so good.
We just
I
like
know.
it.
so freaking
You're-
long.
dude, if your day-
Yeah, he made fun of Jason.
Dude.
I know, no, that's why I haven't
Look,
complained.
look, Eddie. If your
Until
day,
right then.
if your day is the main story, we've already written like 8 spin-offs. Dude. Your day has been the best. it
That is true. That's
made the
true.
most spin-offs, bro. It's generated the most buzz.
I'm saying, they made a next game
Yeah.
gen.
You went on a
game
nature
off
walk,
my-
you found
my
rocks,
birthday.
then what happened?
Found
Maybe
rocks.
him margaritas and tacos.
Oh, yeah.
Margaritas and tacos, right?
Maybe save a wild animal.
All right,
in
now the
distress.
sun's setting. What
Yeah,
happened?
Right.
then?
Whoa,
Like
whoa,
that
whoa, this is
butterfly.
lunchtime.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
lunchtime.
Hour
No.
day, bro.
No, it's not. You're
So
on the
after
rock.
that,
96
after
hour
that,
Lunchtime is
right?
like at 3.
You're at it's sunset.
No,
No,
I
it's
had more hours
lunchtime.
in
We
the
haven't
day.
even
You
ate
spent too
dinner.
long in the nature walk. It's sunset.
Because y'all keep cutting me off. Man.
No, bro, you were drunk off the margaritas. You didn't.
You
see
forgot
it.
what time it was. Now it's sunset.
Passed out.
All right, so it's
3
sunset,
a.m.
so it's
now.
like 7:00, right? So now we're gonna go get some steak. We're gonna get some wagyu. Get some wagyu. Bro, wagyu's busting. You're tripping.
Hey, you're going crazy on it.
You're getting some wagyu. Get some ostrich jerky for the snack later. Yeah. I've never had it before. I just really want to try
It's
it.
very specific.
I
I
do
feel like
think
you've done
I
this
did
before.
try it. I
Like,
think it was pretty good.
And
I had
End it
Sasquatch
off.
turkey once.
ended off with watching, I don't know, some TV show. I don't know, Archer probably.
Nah. Where's all the creative stuff?
It's not a
It's a
perfect
good
day. On the
Face
perfect
down.
day, it's fun.
He wastes all that time face down in the ditch. That
I'm on a perfect day.
That eighth
living
margarita.
life,
That
man.
margarito
I'm going out
just
there.
got him.
Creative
Margarita.
margarita. Funding this 48 hours day.
Binge, dude.
Calendar day.
My
like,
perfect-
Y'all said all the creative stuff for
Or
me. You made
race you
7 or
first.
8 different side
Sure,
stories.
yeah, facts.
Y'all didn't give me time to make the creative
You
stuff.
woke up.
I do feel like you have been waiting to say what your perfect day was. So,
I have a good perfect day.
all right.
We're gonna
Let's
skip
see it.
over Calvin.
So he said he'd go
He-
next.
It was a pass. He didn't. It wasn't.
All
a
right.
skip.
So
Okay.
I'd wake up, and I love my child, but I'd wake up with no child in my bed. I would be in my bed with my husband alone.
Childless.
Childless. No, he'd be sound asleep in his
Free
bedroom.
hate.
I love him. Then I'd wake up and I would eat breakfast. He would have cooked breakfast for me. And we would go to Starbucks afterwards. We would go to Starbucks. And we'd drop off my child with somebody safe and respectful.
So your
I've-
perfect day is removing your child out of your life.
No.
She said period. That's the
No.
end of
A
the
No.
day without your son.
No. That's not what's happening. Then we would
Well,
go.
good thing this isn't the parenting podcast.
Then I think that we should normalize parents
The best
needing a
day and
day
the
away
perfect
from
day
their
are two
children,
different-
just so
completely
everybody
different
knows, even though
things.
they're parent shaming me right now. It's okay.
No, I feel that definitely.
Jason's like, yeah, no, he wasn't with me in mine.
Honestly, go ahead. I'm gonna say this one thing.
yes,
I don't really feel that bad when I'm doing other shit.
Yeah, because I'm a good parent when I'm a parent. Like
Yeah.
I'm all in. So if I need
Like
a
I'm
day
like,
out,
oh, the baby's over there, but I'm like,
he's alive.
yeah, we're good.
He's taken care of.
You know what I mean,
Yeah.
but then when it's time to have fun, you know, 100% attention.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. It took me a long time to get there to feel comfortable saying
It took me about a week.
I need a. That is the
I'm on
perfect
a whole new
difference
level.
between a mom and a dad, though. That's literally.
About a week ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lost my kid. Like, where he go?
Jason's like, I'm infinitely better than you.
Okay, so you dropped him off. You dropped off
I dropped
your
him
son.
off with somebody respectful, probably like my cousin.
Okay, Jackson's gonna take care of your son while.
Then Calvin and I would go shopping, and I'd get whatever I wanted. And then we'd go out to eat to Korean barbecue, and then we would come home.
Can we go there soon?
Yes,
They're eating
please.
grass apparently. So I don't know.
It's really not.
I'm
Yeah,
down, whatever.
it's like
We gotta
even
go
if we
Mama
do
Didi's
lunch,
first.
no Korean barbecue first.
Bruh, no.
Sorry.
Why don't we do a
We
day
can go Wednesday.
where we
this
go to
time. I don't
Mama
work
Didi's
this
in the morning
Wednesday.
or for lunch, and we go to Korean barbecue at dinner?
That's fine by me. Yeah. You
I'll
don't
try
have
to sell
me
it to Kita.
twice.
You guys off Tuesday?
Because our stomachs aren't that big.
You guys
Wednesday.
off Tuesday or Thursday? You guys off those days?
It's a lot of food, man.
No, they're not off any
I'm
days
off
during
on
the week.
Tuesday or Thursday.
So Sundays?
Sundays. would be-
Sunday?
Technically, Sundays are
Technically
the
Sunday.
days that we
So
have.
Is
next
Mama
week.
Didi's open on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Is it open on
So then-
They
Wednesday?
close at 7 on Sunday. Open
You
at
only
11.
work in the
That's
morning.
fine. We
only.
do it for lunch.
They don't
Open
even
at
work.
Wednesday, I only work in the morning, yeah.
So we could do dinner Wednesday.
I mean, I'm done for dinner Wednesday.
We don't have to make a plan because we never follow plans.
Yeah. We'll just like
Let's just
shoot
do
it in the group
schedule
chat.
So we haven't put anything
we
in
have
the
a schedule book?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
wait.
So if I
finish my
write something
day.
in schedule book, it has to happen.
That's
I
what we
love
declared.
that.
We decreed it, right?
Everyone agrees it should go.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I don't know.
Alright,
if I
what's
agree.
left
I
with
don't
your
know if I
perfect
wanna
day?
Okay,
put it
so we
down.
would go to Korean
It's like-
barbecue, and then if I could, I would like go spend more time with Carter wherever he was, and like we'd chill and we'd hang out, and then we would go back home.
With Carter?
No, I'd leave him there. He'd spend the night. Like it would be like he'd
Okay.
be like spending the night over
Yeah.
there. Like because I also love spending time.
So,
you
so
check
he's
in.
the Pokemon you put in the daycare, essentially.
yeah.
to
So
raise
you
him
check
up.
in on your kid.
Yeah,
you go
so yeah,
back.
we would go hang out with my family and him
the
because
guilty
they're all
parent.
fun.
coming through right
and,
there.
And then we
Yeah.
would come home. No, just because like I do enjoy my child. It's just I would need a little breaky break.
Little break.
Yeah, I don't. He never goes anywhere, so I don't feel bad about that. And then we would come home, and for lack of a classier way of saying it, I'd have another baby. That would be my perfect
Just
day.
you? It's like,
As
Solo mission?
as Jackson put it yesterday, the bird mating.
It's bird mating. He said, when you and Calvin, when you guys do like, he started it with, when you have another baby.
When you guys have another baby, I don't want to be in the house.
Can I
Can I move out? Can I move?
I want to move out.
Can
When
I
you have
move
another
out?
baby.
Can I move out?
And I said,
it doesn't
you
work
really
like
don't. I said, you really don't want like another niece or nephew that badly. And he said, no. When you do the
mating.
mating.
The bird mating.
The
You
bird
specifically
mating.
said bird mating. That's
The
what I
bird
was
mating.
geeked out
Bro,
about.
you can sell that shit.
Yeah, and he
man.
said,
Start teaching.
I couldn't be in the house. And I said, oh, you
Health
meant for like a
class.
weekend.
Just kidding,
And he
just
said,
kidding.
yeah. So Eddie said he'd take the children. And so Eddie would be gone on my perfect day. Oh, so you'd be watching Carter.
Eddie's trapped
You
on
ain't
margarita.
seeing
So
it.
if I ever see Eddie,
Yeah.
Eddie pull up with Carter and Jackson, I'd be like,
You know the bird mating's going on.
That's geek. They got some rocks in one hand, margaritas in the other.
Yeah.
Jackson's driving because Eddie said he can't drive anymore.
Just got some Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, and then get the margaritas
What's
ready.
yours?
What's the
Mine.
Cayman Jack?
Jax, bro.
Taco Bell and some Cayman
What
Jack.
what is the navigator's perfect day?
Roll up. Then we roll out.
Yeah, I think I'm not really sure if I need a place, but I'm definitely gonna roll a nice spliff. It's definitely gonna be spliff. I don't know if I need spliff, some water, some fluoride-free water,
No, the
You know,
fluoride-free
yep.
water.
just straight,
Filler.
pure
Straight H2O.
H2O.
Straight from the glaciers.
You know, and then I would
I don't think
honestly be
good though.
at that point afterwards. It'd be dope to make like a song in like an hour, like a really good
Which is,
song
like,
in an hour, or anything other
Ancient
creative.
diseases trapped in them.
So spliff,
Know.
water, clean water, creative session, whether it's music or something else.
Nice.
Then go out in nature, whether it's the beach or whatever you want to do.
Or play sports.
Connect with the squad to see if anyone else wants to join me on my perfect day. And then eat something like just a nice meal, you know. And then at night, probably like a campfire with whoever is part of the campfire wanted. If they wanted to drink or not drink or whatever, everyone was just vibing, listening to music and conversing. That's probably with the stars out, no chemtrails, no clouds blocking the view. You can see the stars.
Lit.
You saw world peace with your day.
I've single-handedly solved world peace.
That is
Dash Iron Man.
Are you okay?
That's gotta be like 15
Why?
15 what?
disruptions.
sleeping.
Technically, it'd be
We're almost done.
World
okay?
War.
We're coming.
Solving peace, isn't it?
Okay.
Can't solve
I've
peace.
single-handedly.
Um.
All right, that was mine.
All right, well,
Calvin?
Calvin.
Who will last?
I think earnest and true. My perfect day.
Earnest and true, my best friend.
like my absolute perfect day. I'd be alone.
I knew you were gonna say be alone.
Yeah.
I'd be alone, but I'd be alone in
Damn, Bree.
a garden, like in a fully like established garden, like just surrounded by my favorite plants.
No worries.
And I would read through all of the Greek manuscripts, all of the original Torah, all of the words of Buddhism,
In
like,
one day?
everything.
The Emerald Tablets. You just
That
start
would
there.
be like my
Yeah.
perfect day. Would be me knowing every language, just reading through every bit of information and knowledge I could.
Then what?
That'd be it. Because from there,
You
And
wanna
I
know
take
it all?
over the world.
well, I'd be able to apply all of it to curate my perfect day from every day forward. If I was able to, because for me personally, I understand that the closer I am to what made me is going to be the closest I can get to who I can be.
You ever read the Celestine Prophecy? Do you read books?
Not anymore.
Do you like audiobooks?
Not really.
You should pick it up.
You should read the Celestine Prophecy.
But
I'm not gonna say anything about it, but based on what you're talking about, that's a great book to read.
I just feel like
Summarize all that.
like I do have a very strong relationship with Christ, but I also understand that at the end of the day, everyone has a different iteration of the story.
Yes.
And so I feel like you have to take everything in and determine which ones are closest to the truth. And I think the only way you can get as close to that truth as you could is by knowing everything.
So then, okay, my question is, when you receive all this knowledge, then what?
Then my follow-up, more than likely, would just be to keep living my life. But live it unto the truth I discovered.
And then what?
Everything.
You don't think you have truth yet?
Not quite. I think I'm on the path to it. But I don't think I'm all the way there.
Well, I guess, like, you wouldn't say you have some truth.
I mean, truth is truth. Unless you have all of it, you really don't have.
I don't buy that.
Because it's a matter of, like I said, I'm on the path to it. And so for what I have, I know a lot of it has to be personal. Don't watch the cross feed, but a lot of it has to be personal bias because I'm human. I know a lot of it has to be me being presumptuous because I'm human. And so as much as I believe, as much as I know,
You're just breaking your house out there.
Log-out kitchen just destroyed.
He's just looking at you like,
as much as
Y'all
I
didn't let me in.
know
flexing on you.
what I believe to be truth, I would be an idiot if I didn't know that there was things I still don't fully comprehend. I can't understand everything. And so, yes, I would say I know the truth, but I don't have the truth because I don't have it all. I don't know
What if
how
there's
I'm
like
supposed
what
to
you
be
need to
living life
know,
yet.
and that's what you need to know?
So that's
But
what I
I
was
don't-
gonna say.
Could you be
because
okay with
I
that?
feel like, so obviously with
See,
us.
but what I need to know is already provided. I haven't read it. I haven't read the entire Bible.
Well, okay. To be fair,
And
though,
so that would be
let's
that would be the first book
Let's
I
be
read
fair, right?
on my perfect day. But
Taking hypotheticals and
Uh-huh.
everyone's belief will use Christianity as it.
Right.
If you right now to this day, if you burned every single religious text and you
Mhm.
wiped it away from history completely, the way you could presume it to be truth is if you found yourself in the same exact position you are today, with or without that text. Right? Because if it's true, then you don't need the text for it because it's true and you will find the truth because it's there, right? So, presumably, you don't need to read any of it to find the truth.
but it's there already.
It's there. So you can. That is an option.
So
but there's more than one way to crack an egg.
Because basically what you just, and I say this all the time, the Bible is like a tutorial. And basically what you just said is that if we just rip the tutorial out of the game, you could still play it. Yeah, you could still play it.
Jackson,
But there's
what's
so
on your
many
mind,
things within our game.
What's on your mind, bro?
Nothing.
Well, I need to know what was on your mind. You were too deep in thought right there.
Nothing.
You gotta say it. Spell it.
This is one little word. I don't need a whole sentence.
Like, genuinely, even if it was about your toe, say it.
It's one word.
I'm tired.
No, that's a
He's
cop out.
falling asleep.
Boo.
But, He's got that big ass hole in the bottom of his side.
Fucking wind's blowing up.
No, not
No,
for the big
no.
No, expose him.
Oh!
You know how
We gotta
expensive
reel
those
that.
are?
Reel that. Someone cop that.
He takes his sock off his whole body.
I got my socks for free. My mom gave it to me.
Your whole life for free.
Show me your foot. Show me your foot.
Yeah. Jackson, you didn't take
There
that.
ain't
you didn't
no
take the
such
sock
thing
all the
as
way
a free
stretch it
lunch.
over your whole body and then take it off on
Tin
the other
stuffle.
fucking leg.
That's a
You
tin
fucking-
stuffle?
I can't believe you did that.
No.
No, he did on. Oh, just on the one. Okay, I thought you did on both for a second.
I just can't. That's ridiculous.
It's so lit.
No, this one's good.
That's geek.
It doesn't have a match. You said,
Oh,
this, is
fuck.
why, this is why we have 5 baskets of socks at our house.
He said, I
Name a
actually got 'em-
podcast. Deranged kids rip socks off.
I said I actually got them for free.
That goes viral right there.
I understand my own basketball.
My mom bought them for me.
What's up, brother?
That's hilarious.
I
That's
just
geek.
really can't believe you.
I
you
can't believe
did
you
that.
just ripped your sock
Yeah.
completely off your
Oh
foot.
shit.
You guys interrupted his train of thought. He had to.
Well, he was super deep in it. I had to know.
You said something about my sock having a giant hole in it, pulling it back.
Okay, so you go through all the process. My question is like this, right? Like, and this is what I really think when it comes down to all like knowledge of whatever regard. Like, you eventually you hit a door where, like, if you're someone who wakes up every day in pursuit of something, eventually you do find what you're in pursuit of. And I made an album called Endless Destination to mark the fact that, like, the destination is an endless destination, but that means it's not that you never find the goal. It's that thing that it is in itself is an ever-growing thing, but it's about finding that thing that is the ever-growing thing. So the answer, like, all the knowledge is infinite in itself. So there is no I know everything. It's that you know how to access everything. If you find the space to be able to access that, then you have everything you need. So that's the checkpoint that is the endless destination, because you've
See, but I'd argue if it's ever going, then you never have everything you need. If your goal is to tame this ever going thing, then there's not
I would say that's a glass half
you're
full versus
leaving
glass half empty.
because it's on a what.
Because what do you not
If
need?
I know my finish line is forever moving, I'm only gonna run the race if I am excited to run.
But I said that the destination is the finish line.
Exactly, and it's
But
ever
if
moving.
you are unable to find, in my opinion, and this goes for anyone, if you're unable to find peace within, like, the organized chaos, or that this destination is a thing of infinite, then you will never find peace.
See, but that's the you assume I don't have peace. That's why I said I'm not gonna be running this race unless I like running. If I know the finish line's ever moving, I can either stand in the middle of the field and watch it go around the track, or I could sit there and run behind it. Now, me personally, I'm trying to get as close to it as I can. I know even if I do grab it, it's going to keep moving, so I'm going to have to keep running. And I could sit here and try to jump on it, but at the end of the day, I'm always going to be running. I'm trying to get as close to holding it while I'm pacing as I can.
You know,
Because-
is what's funny is that, like, and I do think it's the same thing. Like, you will reach a point where you've climbed to the point where till you find your answer.
No.
You will.
No.
But this is
Because
the thing. You got to look at it like a butterfly.
Here's the thing, though. But here's the thing, right? You premise this train of thought with the fact that you're using, like, just Christianity as a whole. Like
Oh,
I
that was
said,
just for the if you erased everything.
But I've been specific to specify in the past, I am a child of Christ. There's a difference. Because modern day Christianity, modern day Christians, it's not the same anymore. It's not what we're supposed to be doing. The simplest way I have to put it is the fact that most Christians get upset with Jews when you're supposed to be worshiping a Jew. You can't sit here and tell a Jew that they're completely off base when the Lord and Savior you know to be the Lord and Savior was a Jew. And so for me, I'm not going to use generic Christian, and that's my point. I'm trying to develop a relationship. And the same way as in order to further my relationship with my wife, I have to continually learn about her. Not just from talking to her, I have to talk to her mom. I have to talk to him. I have to talk to her friends. I have to talk to the people that grew up with her. I have to develop the entirety of the story.
So in
I
that
can get
point,
as close
in
to
that point
holding
right
her
there,
full as possible.
so that thing right there of, like, what you said, we have Bree, right? So, like, knowing more and more and more and more and more. Also, just you have to realize that in that you've also already found this person. You've already reached a destination.
See, but I can't say I do to just one person. If I do, we're gonna get divorced. If I say if the person I married is the only person I want to be my wife, we're going to get divorced. I need every single iteration of her to be the person I want to be.
But she is that infinite source.
Yeah, but her flag's ever moving, and where.
But it is, but it isn't.
No, it always is. Until
but it
she
always
dies,
isn't
it
at the same time.
No, it's always moving. I know this for a fact. She just cut her hair today.
But she is still she.
Yes,
Today.
but there's an entire.
Or is it he?
So I will say, I agree with this, 'cause you and I have this conversation all the time.
in the like,
Yeah, I
Sorry.
will say I agree with you on this part
Are
because
you okay?
I agree with both of you. You have to have the urge to learn more while also being content with what you know at the same time. There is harmony and there's peace within both of those. Like that's what I know who he as a base person is, and I know I love that person. Obviously, that's the person that I've fallen in love with, and I'm content with that. Not more than content with that person. I'm happy and I'm at peace with that person. But to the same extent, I am excited and willing to learn about each different stage that he's at and what that looks like from the people around.
Isn't
as
that
well.
so much so something that is constantly moving but never?
Yeah, it is. I agree with that. I think that's exactly.
That's my point. So if to bring it back to our first analogy, if I just stand in the middle of her racetrack and watch her flag go around, we're gonna be at a disconnect. She's gonna be taking laps and I'm not moving. But if I'm steadily chasing her flag, whether I'm grabbing onto it or whether I'm a whole lap behind, eventually,
So what's your angle?
hopefully, I'm gonna catch up. At the end of the day, I'm trying to further my relationship with my Lord and Savior because that's.
But
who
I feel
made
like you have to be content with the truth that you do have now.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. And like I said, I'm on the path to truth. But if it's not, I can be content but not complacent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's my point. That's my angle. To where yes, I am comfortable knowing that what I know makes me feel amazing.
So
and
then
it brings me further.
Let's put this in. Let's say you continue this path, life happens. There's a moment, spiritual, mystical. You meet what?
See, but
hold
I've
on.
had spiritual
Hold
mystical
on.
moments.
And you meet what you would call as your Lord and Savior. Like it's undeniable when you meet this entity, and this entity gives you like, okay, this is what I need from you. Then what?
You do it.
You do it.
Okay.
Why not?
That was my question the whole time,
Yeah.
essentially.
Because
Once you find what you're looking for, then what?
But here's the thing about that, right? That isn't my God. That couldn't happen. Because as an all-powerful God, he limits his power to provide me with free will. So even if
You still have free will, though.
even if
Yeah. That's the point.
it came and talked to me and was like, this is what I need from you, I know that I'm still that like it's not possessing me, and so I'm gonna fight to do my best to do that thing. But I do understand, and I am content within my truth of I'm probably gonna screw it up. I've already been told to do certain things, and I'm probably screwing them up.
I don't know if that just feels like it's not. I don't think that's it just feels like why wouldn't you have the flag to succeed? Like, why wouldn't that be a channel?
I do, but I'm human.
But if you're like, oh, I'm probably gonna screw it up. But if in my mind, if you're looking at it like,
you could start the hunger strike tomorrow, and as adamant as you were in the podcast, that was the flag to succeed. But at the same time, you're human. You want to eat glizzies, right? So, and I know for me, like I said, a huge thing for me, and I feel this on my heart on the daily, is the fact that I haven't read the entirety of the Bible.
that's completely different because that's a moment where you would choose. You would choose to do that thing, and that's different because I wasn't.
I do agree with that. I feel like this just comes from who you are as a person. Like you're a pessimist a little bit, because I do agree that the take that you should have is obviously we know that like we fall short of perfect every day. None of us wake up and live a perfect life. We lie, okay? We speak to the people around us ugly. We we do. We indulge in things, overindulge in things that we shouldn't.
Never have I ever.
Yeah, exactly. So in that sense, I think that's what he's saying. no matter what God asks me, like, yes, I'm going to strive for perfection, but to the level of perfection that he is, we will never reach it, and we are comfortable in that fact, but also know that we will try our hardest. Like, the end all be all is we're going to try our hardest, but the bar that has been set by Christ, we will always fail to reach, which is the whole point of Christianity, is like, as a human, you will never reach this bar, but that's okay. I did it.
Like, I'm
so
never
that
going
you
to
don't
pass
have
the flag.
to.
So then it's not, but that's not your, but then that, so taking that, then it's not even your lane at all to even, like, it's like, if it's like, oh, by the way, you guys are here, Christ is here, you actually can't do that.
Yeah.
So, but you
my-
have this.
Yeah.
My goal.
Because you have yours, right? If there's a limit where you can't go, you can't reach, that means there's a roof. And so
But my goal-
but if you're at the roof, then you are doing
but
exactly everything you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
As much of
But it's more like this. One task is like this, not you know what I mean? Like, life as a Christian is always this. It's never, you're never gonna reach the roof. You're always gonna be.
So I say this then: do you feel like you've ever, from start to finish, woken up, from the moment you woke up to the moment you laid your head down at bed, you know that you did everything that you were supposed to do?
Absolutely not. I don't think there's been one
Really?
day in my life. 100%.
well, there's
why?
There's also degrees because I'm human, so I could
Yeah, but
I could.
It's not.
Here's an example, right? I can spend my entire day saying the right things, doing the right things, and I have a lot of days recently where, especially at the big job that I go to with all the people, I will talk my testimony there, and I feel like there have been a lot of people that I've been able to just force the connection between church and life by talking my testimony there. And I'll still, while I'm there, crack one dirty joke. And the tongue's powerful. And so for me to be sitting here and as adamant as I am about what I say, for me to crack that one dirty joke, I know that's not like that
But
was
also,
me missing the mark on perfection. Now I also have to be content within my truth. There is a level of perfection. There is that roof where you're looking at it as, oh, that's the highest I can go. I'm looking at it as, that's the highest I get to go. Like, yeah, I'm gonna hit that roof, but I get to go up there. And so why would I look at it like I'm going to just stay down here at all times instead of striving to hit that roof? If that's the max I can go, let me get up.
I'm not. Go ahead.
So for me, it's like two reasons I never feel like I wake up and I live my life exactly how I'm supposed to. Is the first two kind of go hand in hand. Is one, it's I am human, and I really, like, that's all I can say is I'm human. I will always mess up. I strive for perfection as my Lord and Savior existed. I know that I'm not going to get there. And I don't end the day feeling bad when I feel like I didn't reach that. Now, number two, I have really bad crippling anxiety and depression. Those things make me feel bad about my day. Like, I will go to bed. I was a bad mother today. I yelled at him. All these different things. But the difference between Jesus and my intrusive thoughts is he may say things to me like, hey, you spoke to Calvin ugly today, or hey, you were impatient with Jackson or Carter today, or hey, you said this lie today. He never speaks to me with accusation or with hate. But my intrusive thoughts do. Like, my anxiety, my depression, they always speak to me. And they always say, you messed up. But I know that I'm talking to God when he brings me peace. And he said, hey, this is what happened today. Let's do better tomorrow.
I think another factor into, because, like, I definitely don't feel like I've ever had a day where, like, I felt like I was perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you just think about.
Let's take the perfect out of it, because I feel like our definition of perfection is different.
Well, it was, have you ever gone to bed at the end of the day and done everything that you felt like you were supposed to do? That was the question.
Like,
Yeah,
you
still
did
no
what
for
you were
me,
supposed
but
to
it's
do.
I would still say no.
But for me, it's
I
because of,
stand
like,
by
my
my yes.
anxiety and depression.
You have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I
stand
feel.
by my yes. Because
And honestly, respectfully, I feel like that most every single day of my life.
Yeah.
And I know it
here's-
sounds
and
wild, but
here's-
this is the thing, because, like, if my perspective is that, like, my idea of perfection isn't that it isn't pitted, or it isn't in comparison to anything else, because I don't have any religion. I've never had any religion. I've been to church twice in my life. My parents never pushed anything on us or brought us there. My mom was brought when she was a kid. My dad wasn't. It was just like up in the air. Believe what you want to believe. I never had I never had you have this to this. I always just had, this is what it is. And then based on my experiences in life and what I've experienced and the supernatural things that I've experienced in my life that I couldn't, if I told the story, I couldn't convince you that it's true.
Right.
Because it's like, it's beyond me. And so in that sense of like what I've come to understand and what I've learned in my life and those moments of like those spiritual connections, like I understand that like who I am and what I came here to do on this planet, why I was put here, my goal or what my task is that is put before me is, it comes down to the very simplest thing, which is to love. And that is why I'm here on this planet. Everything else is under that. And what I do, that is who I am, falls under that umbrella. My goal is to love. Even if this is the other podcast and I'm yelling and I'm shouting, at the end of the day, I would never look at that as an imperfection. I can second guess myself. I'm like, oh, did I step too far? But I know that like everything I said was true to my heart. It came from my heart. If I am someone who, and I'm not religious, but if I was created by God, and I do believe in God, and if I was put here and I am a Josh son of God, then I am supposed to be who I am, and I feel these feelings for a reason. Yeah, and I'm placed here to feel these feelings so I can share these feelings so people can hear, and they can feel that thing too, or they can see that reflection to be able to find.
And that is the beauty of the race, though. That's where I'm getting at, is because it's not a matter of like, it's not stages and then you get to the top and it's nirvana. No, it's a relationship that's always sitting there. This is always a friend who's always like, hit my line, man. You still have my number. It hasn't changed. And so as much as I'm in an active pursuit towards, there's nothing wrong with you being in a stagnant pursuit. Like, there's nothing to say that is incorrect. And
ebbs and flows, essentially. I think...
Did it stop recording?
I think so.
Oh, no.
No.
Try it again.
It's dark.
I wonder why that is.
Just storage full.
I just peeped it.
No, I doubt it.
Jason sucks at his job.
That's unfortunate.
Well, what I was gonna say was basically on the lines of, I always feel like there's something else that I can get done. So like on the fact of, and also I don't make lists of things. Like I don't make a list every. I need to get X, Y, Z done in order for me to feel like I fulfilled everything I need to do today. I don't do that. Fair. You know what I'm saying? So like I always feel like there's definitely something else that could get done because there's always room to grow, right?
Definitely.
So then I don't ever feel, and it might just be a personal thing, right? Because like Bree, you said you don't feel like you have ever had a day where you've gone to bed where you feel like what was like the exact wording of it?
Gotten
right. I
successfully completed what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, successfully completed what I was supposed to do. Yeah, absolutely.
So I've never felt like I was supposed to do because I guess I never like had a list to say like, all right, this is what we need to get done.
Fair.
And I will say it tags along too with that sense of peace, because it is like you're never gonna feel satisfied without being peaceful.
True.
You can't. And so I know, like I said, it's a relationship. And so in the same way that I can run to you, any of you, and be like, yo, this happened, and you guys will help bring me peace. I have the person who made me. In the same way my mom knows me better than anyone. There's a step past that person who made me, who knows me better than anything, that I can run to bring me peace. So on those days where I felt like, you know what, I ate today, I did this, and I found some of those days weren't even days where like I did a bunch. I just completely shifted my mentality on something. I was like, this is what I was supposed to do today. Yeah. And for the next, who knows how long, that I was able to carry that better mentality, quote unquote. I was able to, and that's why I said my perfect day is to sit and read so I can fix what I'm not doing, right? And that's why I need to read everything too, because it's also a matter of if I'm only reading the Christian Bible, right? And I read the entire story as it is in the Christian Bible. Well, the Quran is the Old Testament. And so if I don't go learn more about what Abraham was doing, I'm not fully absorbing the Old Testament. I'm absorbing the part that the Mesoic pushers wanted. And that's still word of God. It's word of God before the new covenant. So I still, in a way, need to understand that, need to embrace that,
I hear that.
because my Lord and Savior is a Jew. He walked. And so it's I'm trying to get as close within my relationship as possible.
I'll say, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Really
You're
quick,
broke.
to kind of go back and piggyback off what you're saying, and of what you said earlier, of like, you know, that what you said was justified because it was what you were feeling, right? Or maybe not justified, but like, you feel comfortable in how your day goes and what you say because they were your feelings and you want to be able to voice your feelings, right? Or something along those lines.
Well, I feel like feelings and emotion
You
is two different things, but it's, to me, it's more spiritual than just the ebbs and flows of I felt that or I felt
Right.
that. But
So
continue.
You're what?
to kind of go off of that, I think the other thing is like,
Your back is itchy?
the cool
Can
thing
you
about
reach it?
Christianity, right, is the fact that it's
I'll help you when you're done, okay?
there was a God who came down and separated himself and became human, right? Like, Jesus Christ was supposed to
I
paint a
know, we're
picture
almost done.
of what it's like to be human, and I think it's really things that get overlooked in scripture. And this helps me throughout my day when I'm like, oh, that was I don't know if that's how I should have reacted or spoke, or, you know, maybe I spoke out of line or something like that. Is like, there's a verse, and he's at a wedding with his mother, and when he turns water into wine, and she comes up to him and she's like, Jesus, like, they're out of wine. Can you make wine? And he says, woman, why do you involve me? Like, so, like, in all context, it's like so sassy. And she just says, come over here, Jesus is gonna make us wine. And it's just such a mother and son, like, interaction. Like, when when somebody around you can do something, you're like, hey, like, my guy's got us, like, he can get us in, or something like that, you know? But it was also, like, kind of sassy and, like, just human, you know? So I do try to keep that in mind. It was like, you know, Jesus was human, and he had feelings, and he spoke, and he was direct, and he didn't always take everybody's feelings into account when he said. He just spoke truth, and sometimes that was harsh. So sometimes we can say harsh things, but the thing is, harsh things out of love. It always stems from, it comes out of love.
And that's where, like, where you're sitting in the middle of the track is close enough that you're receiving your assignment for love. And you said it yourself. You know your reason is love. And so I'd be a hypocrite. I'd be wrong in everything I stand for.
What is
It sounds like plastic. I'm pretty sure it's the chip bag.
Okay.
I know I'd be wrong in everything I stand for if I sat here and I was like, because you're not searching for a relationship with God, you're wrong. You're doing wrong. You can't do your purpose. You can't do your reason. Yeah, you can. That's
But
the whole
I
point.
would,
Like, the whole point is that you get
to touch those marks, I would say, like, one, I feel like, and I said this before, I feel like a lot of things that you say in terms of your belief system, like, I actually agree with a lot of it. It's just that it's like I'm speaking a different language. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I'm speaking.
Like I said, you're close enough.
Yeah, and because we're
Right,
speaking
yeah,
two
yeah.
different languages, it's like como está versus how are you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're saying me saying como está is not how are you, but it is how are you.
Mm-hmm.
And then to touch on your point where you said, like, you don't set the goal or like that perfect day. I think you have, like, in terms of your day and what you're doing, you have like walls, you have resting points, and you have the creative flow. And the creative flow is when stuff's just happening. I can never stop in the creative flow. When the creative flow is happening, you can't stop me, and it's impossible. I can't stop me. It's just over. It's over. It's beyond me. The walls are the worst. I can't go to sleep when there's a wall. Like, if there's a wall, there's something that it's a wall, I have to get over the wall before I go to bed. But the resting points are the moments that, yeah, there's still more to do, and there's still something else that you can do, but it's okay to put down where it is right now because you're at a resting point. And it doesn't mean that you didn't accomplish everything. You actually did accomplish everything because you reached the resting point to be able to. Yeah, exactly. Those are.
No,
resting
I agree
points.
with you. Like, it just breaks and stuff like that. But like, I feel like,
Like I said, different language. Because I'd call it a resting point.
Yeah.
A break sounds like it's broken.
And then I guess if that's your interpretation, right?
Yeah, but like I said,
Yeah.
different languages.
And I know this is it's gonna be a super hot take within the Christian community. But one of the things I've come to find is I've noticed that. So as a follower in Christ, I understand that we are born with an innate connection to God because God made us all in His image, right? And so one of the things I've come to find is when people really like dive and delve into the quote unquote good side of them, and to what I know is the Holy Spirit living inside of them, that is, I would argue, the closest people get without like directly causing a relationship, because there is already a sense of
I have met godly it's hard to say godly people, but people
good
who
people
live their life better than a ton of Christians.
Yeah. And that's and that was the whole thing I was getting at when I was like, I would be a hypocrite if I sat here and told you you are wrong for not establishing, because no, you're not wrong.
But I would disagree that I would just argue that establishing. I feel like in my own experience, I have established that connection.
Yeah, and
my life and my day to day is about remaining.
That's
connected.
my whole point. Like there's always an innate connection, no matter who created. For there to be creation, something had to create, and whatever that creator is has a relationship with what they made. That's just law of facts.
So,
and
finish what you're saying.
And so like I said, there have been people who like you don't. In order to reach the truth, you need Jesus. That's my very firm belief. In order to reach you and reach your purpose within the truth, you can do it. There's already.
I guess that's where we diverge, because
yeah.
Personally, if I don't believe that that's true.
I do,
because in my own experience, and like I said, it's one of those things that I can't prove. Mm-hmm. But if I could play you the story of my life and you could watch the scene by scene, I would say like those two things that you just separated, I've already achieved those in my life.
So can I sneak this in real quick?
Because
I completely respect what you're saying, and I even resonate with what you're saying. But to give you food for thought, or just to, if you ever consider it like a whole nother level, the way I think of it is like when I know you guys, and like I never want to make you feel disrespected or make you think that I think you're less than because you don't believe the same thing as us. So don't take that as what I'm saying, but because I also know the power that I've experienced. You don't know the power I've experienced. I don't know the power that you've experienced. I think there's a whole nother level of who you are that you don't know
I
yet.
did run out of storage.
That you don't know yet, and I would encourage you to.
Here, give it to me. I'll delete some stuff and then run it. Go ahead.
I would encourage you to play with the idea of that, because I also know like we've had this. You guys are always like. I'm not going to speak for you, Ryan, but it feels like you are, whether it's Christianity, whatever it is, you're always looking to reach your next level of spirituality, right? We'll just say spirituality, because who would not want to always reach that next level of spirituality and understanding what this world is, what is outside of this world? I would encourage you to dive deeper into that in whatever way it is. I think there's a whole nother thing for you to experience out there. I just encourage you to play with it. This part really quick, I just want to ask you guys this question. You don't even have to leave this in. But if Christianity is/was real, would you believe in it?
Yes.
If it was real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a man of truth.
So what prevents you from thinking it's real?
Because
that's always like, I've never had the like courage to ask somebody that. Like I'm always really nervous.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to know what that thought. Because I always have been a Christian.
Because it's not the only one out there. So in the sense of, like, how could you say, like, someone who's Buddhist or someone who's Muslim, they're all going to have that same, like, this is whatever is real. In my mind, there's something real about every single one of them. And they're all saying almost the exact same thing. Right. It's just about the way you do it. Just like for Easter, like, our tradition of cracking the eggs.
Right.
Versus, like, someone could look at them and be like, oh, that's super weird, or whatever. But on the verse, like, that could be what it is. But how does that separate how I appreciate Easter versus you? You know what I'm saying? Just based off what I do. So it's literally just like...
See, and that's...
And also at the same time, like, in my personal experience, I've met more people who have tried to convince me that it's real than people who have tried to convince you that it's not real.
Right.
So in my mind, it's like there's more people out there that are gonna that are trying to say that this is real. And in my mind, it's like, okay, yes, but also on my end, like I know that I'm real. I know who I am. I know what I'm here for. But I don't go out and tell you that you're wrong for going to church. You're wrong for believing in this. But there's gonna be people who tell me the opposite. Yeah. And then so in my mind, it's like, at the end of the day, also I'm a true believer of the fact that I think that it's a very influential thing. And when we're young, we're influenced even now, like we're super influenced, whether it's TikTok or whatever, like a trend will happen or this will happen or that will happen, and you'll jump into it and be influenced by or change the way you think. And I just think as a young kid, like, especially like if that's what you were brought up with, you're going to be more inclined to believe in it 100%. So in my mind, it's like, do you believe in it because you believe in it, or do you believe in it because you were told to believe in it, right, and you've just been doing it for so long, right, that it's just like second nature to you? Right. So in my mind, it's like I'm not saying that's true or that's not true. I just look at it as, in the grand scheme, it's like sports. There's different types of sports, but you're physically active in the sport. It's a physically active thing. It's a competition. It's a teamwork, blah, blah, blah. Even golf, you have the guy swinging the club, but you have the dude who's holding the clubs telling you like what club you should grab, or the wind's like this or the hill's like that. So it's still a team game. So at the end of the day, it's like, but I'm not going to convince you that, or try to convince you that it's a sport or not a sport. It's literally, that's what it is. Now the way you play, do you play football? Do you like this one better? Do you like that one better? Does this one resonate with you more? Does that one resonate with you more? So in my mind, it's like, it's almost just like, because I don't trust society of what they tell you, of what's been brought before us, the way they change history. The history is written by the victor. What happened to all the other people? So in my mind, it's like, because we don't have full access to the knowledge, it's always, if you go on Google, I actually had to start. If you go on Google and you type in something, like Google doesn't give you like an unbiased search result. Right. It gives you like what they want to push. So you're going to get articles. Like if you type in Florida man, that's it. Florida man, and you put a date, the first articles are all like some crazy shit. Like Florida man does this, Florida man does that, instead of like whatever, maybe just a picture of a dude from Florida. Right. But it's going to give you these articles that are like, oh my God, like, and then now you're going to send them to people or whatever. So it's like, right, but in the sense, it's, if you look up like the Celestine, what'd you say? Celestine prophecy. Whatever Google wants you to see first is what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. If you type in Disney Frozen, the movie Frozen is going to pop up. Right, at one point in time, it was Walt Disney being Frozen, right? So it's like, but now the Google image, the result is that. So in my mind, it's the information isn't free. It's not accessible to the fact that you can go just find the information that you want to find, you read about, you decide. It's all presented to you in a certain way where, you might get, in my mind, the only thing I can say is that if you latch onto an idea so heavily, your life will be influenced by it. And that's good and bad. Mm-hmm. So it's like, in one sense, like for my uncle, for instance, my uncle was an alcoholic. Now he went through AA. But the way he describes his life is soup, like he is AA. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, there's another way. Yeah, you don't have to be, just because you're an alcoholic doesn't mean you have to be an AA guy to be all right. But that's what they tell you. You have to come to these meetings, you have to do this, do that, preach to the other people, boom, boom, and you're going to be a good human because you're not going to do all the shit you did when you were fucked up. Mm-hmm. But in my mind, it's like, that might not be the answer either. So it's like, it
could just be one of them.
So it's like, there's not one way to dance,
and so, And that's exactly why I wouldn't just, like, I feel like most Christians would be like, oh, my perfect day would be figuring everything about the Bible. No, I want to read everything. Because the way I see it is, there can be more than one way. Theoretically, the odds are that there should be more than one way. So you have to read it all. You have to dissect for yourself what is the most reliable, what is the most canonical, what makes the most sense, which one has the most proof and backing. And that, like, a huge thing for me is the fact that throughout the entirety of the Bible, there's several instances of proof amongst everything. It's almost like everything's cited. All of these times and plants and geographical locations and the makeup of the land at the time it should have been. It's all consistently being fact checked and consistently passing, and that's the reason there isn't. And then my brain pinged when you talked about there's more people trying to get you to believe in this than there are people trying not to. It's because there's more evidence for than there's against as of right now.
My point to that is not that is the point of
I know. Yeah, no. I know exactly what you meant, but that was.
And also, my opinion is that heaven and hell is your mind state. It's where you are currently, right? In this moment right here, we could all be considered as a heavenly environment. We're all here. We all love each other. We're speaking about how we feel. It's an open conversation. No one's getting judged.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could walk out of here or even, let me bring this metaphor. We're at the Grand Canyon. We're having a great time with Nigel and the squirrel. 10 minutes later, Eddie runs over a squirrel. And in that moment, you could go from heaven to hell, where it's like, in Eddie's mind, he could feel super bad about that. And now his whole day.
We leaned into him.
Yeah, we did. But his whole day. So in my mind, it's
really,
like.
because I just thought it was funny.
Because of that, my personal feeling is that it's a place that you currently stay at. Where are you currently? But on the other flip is they're trying to tell you gotta do everything you can so when you die you get there. I've already died. I've already reborn. I know that to be true in my heart. I know that I've been here before. So in my mind it's like, what? So I'm not going, like, there might be a place in between lives, and it might be some places are better than the other, but also I know that I'm focused on my karmic balance. What do I put out in the universe? Do I do good? Do I help other people? Am I trying to be as positive as possible? You said it the other day. Oh, I like how you always put a positive spin on everything. And it's like, that's just the way and I realized that because my dad, everything that happens with my dad, like a lot of times he just says, he'll jump to the negative. Like, what's wrong about if you like, hey dad, let's do this. He'll like bring you all the problems he can think of about why we shouldn't do it. So, and for the longest time, people would always tell me I'm just like my dad. So I was like, okay, why? So now it's like, okay. So I picked up the things that I like. I was like, hey, this is good. He's a hardworking guy. He's a loving guy. Things like that. Boom. The things that I didn't like, I did the exact opposite. He always thinks about negative. We'll battle all day. He'll throw every negative. I'll throw every positive out there. Boom, boom. And we'll battle like that.
Man's great problem solvers.
Yeah. So it's like, in that sense. So in my mind, it's just like the way I look at my life currently is that I'm here. And this is actually, let me just actually say this. What I've gotten to in this past like week is that I will understand what I'm supposed to understand. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I'm just here to experience the moments, and I'll understand them later. There's some things that you're just meant to experience. You're not supposed to have this all-knowing knowledge of what's happening. It's just that you're supposed to experience it. That's life. That's the beauty of it. You feel sad. That's awesome. That means you're here. You're feeling. Because then you know that when you feel happy, you know why. The exact opposite feeling of why I'm happy. You rather be happy than sad. But sometimes you got to be sad to become happy again. Absolutely. So in my mind, it's like, I'm not going around telling people that heaven is not real. Or that I'm just going to tell you that my mind, your mind state is heaven and hell. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not going to tell anyone else that they're wrong. But there's going to be a lot of people that come after me. And on top of the fact that in the thing, there's never like, when stuff happens, there's never, like, no one ever gets outed. It's always under the wraps. There's a scandal about this, a scandal about that. This happened, this happened. And then you never hear, nothing happens. And then people, and at the end of the day, to me, it just looks like a big business.
Right.
And it's working hard. It's grinding every day. It's got a lot of people going every Sunday, giving money every week. Now, are you doing good with it or not? Okay. You can argue, look at my church did, look what this did, look what that did. But at the same time, there's all these other religions too that people are doing stuff. You got the Jewish people, and people have good things to say about them, and people have bad things to say about them. You got the Muslim people, you got the Hindu, you got all these different things. So, but if you were to put all those texts, in my mind, if you put all those texts and you AI through them to read them all and blah, 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 there's going to be a bunch of shit that's just like you guys are saying. It's just different languages. He's saying the same exact thing you're saying. It's just a different language. But then there's going to be a spin that says if you don't believe in Jesus, if you believe in Buddha versus Jesus, you're wrong because Jesus was here. But in reality, they both could have been here. All it is just someone's version of the story. And what I don't respect or what I don't vibe with is the separation of it. It's what separates you from me is because I do this and you don't. Versus like you have to follow this In my mind, it's like I can create a holy garden. I can go sit there. I can pray if I want to. I can whatever. But in my mind, the Most High is me. I am God. I am in 13 dimensions up. That's me. And all I can see right now is just where I am now. I'm in 4 or 5 dimensions, chilling there peacefully. And there's going to be people who are stuck in the 3rd dimension. All they care about is whatever they've been told. They're stuck in their loop. They're stuck in their death loop. Eventually, they're going to die. They're reborn. And all they just use them to Uber or to work at McDonald's or to whatever to keep the shit going. You know? And on top of the fact that I'm even going to bring this up, I also believe that we're not the only species that has mental capability on the earth right now.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it's like if that is true right there, like we don't know how long. There's the Mandela effect, right? That people are saying, do you think the Looney Tunes are spelled like this or spelled like that? Blah blah blah. So if we're gonna bring the Avengers in it, did we switch timelines? How real is all this stuff? But we don't get to explore that because we get so wrapped up in such a 3rd dimensional idea all day long, and they just keep pushing the next thing. The solar eclipse is tomorrow. I guarantee you some shit goes down tomorrow. Whether it's in whatever country, whatever happens, whether they release a bunch of documents and delete them, whether a fucked up shit happens over here you're not going to know about, but everyone's going to be looking up at the sky, at the sun, and meanwhile right behind them, some other shit's happening. They took all the kids out of school during COVID, and what did they put in those schools? Who was out on the roads? Who saw what they put out there? Who knows? At the end, everyone was inside. For what? For a fake disease. Not fake because it got people sick, but in the sense of how dangerous it was. Then they pushed this mandated vaccine on all these people. I saw an article yesterday, or someone posted in our group chat at work and said it was basically someone died because people drink energy drinks. They drink Red Bull at work, right? So, and it was basically a young kid died from a heart attack after drinking energy drinks. I commented, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. Was this person vaccinated? That's a big deal. All-cause mortality has raised over 50% in the past 4 years. Number of kids between like 16 and 28 who have had heart attacks has increased like a ridiculous amount. LeBron James' son dropped on the court. If he actually died there, it'd be a different story. He survived. DeMar Hamlin died on the field, and they say that he came back. But that whole shit, if he dies and doesn't come back, and they don't figure out that situation, the NFL is in a way different spot than it is right now. On top of that, they're already dealing with the CTE stuff. So in my mind, it's like they never give you the truth. We never get the truth. It's always bullshit. It's always layered in between, and the truth's layered in between forever. There's always every other day is another scandal. You got the scandal coming out, but we still didn't get the results from the Epstein scandal. Now we're on a new one. Now they just out someone else. So in my mind, it's like eventually all this stuff, like eventually the screen layer will drop, and whatever that is what that is. Am I gonna bank on it being Christianity versus Judaism? No, I'm gonna bank on it that I'm here, I'm alive, I have my soul, I've been here before, I know it, I'm here for a reason. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna follow my purpose. You guys go to church, fully respect it. You guys get your peace. But when I wake up on Sunday morning, I have my peace still. 100%. Doesn't matter if I go somewhere else, because in my mind it's like I am where I am. I'm here spiritually. All of us here could have a spiritual moment together, and that be the thing. Versus you go to church and you hear someone else. In my mind, I am the pastor. I am. When in the Simpsons movie, when the pastor's talking, he isn't saying anything. What happens? Grandpa comes rolling in, gets hit with the beam, and now he's the one speaking because he's the one with the light, actually. So it's about who has the light, who's the one who actually cares enough. And I actually care. So, but I'm not here. I don't care about the money. I don't care about people knowing who I am. I don't care about this and that. I honestly just care about what he said, love. I care about people finding what they want to do. In my mind, we don't get taught that. We don't get to go to school, and by the time we're 17, 18 years old, we have tried all these. We've tried this, we've tried that. It's you got to learn math, English, history, science. Can you fall into this working society? Can you be a part of society? If not, you either go to college or you get a job. You don't do that, you either sell drugs or you are a burnout, and then you end up in jail. And then what happens? The jails make money, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So in my mind, it's like there's all this stuff happening at all times. And if each one of these things, like, I'm not going to get stuck in one idea. Like, I was telling Eddie this the other day. I was like, I live in possibilities, not in reality. So if it's possible, it could be possible. Is it possible that Jesus lived? Yes, 100%. Is it just as possible that he didn't? In my mind, yes. Because the only thing is just passed down story. Is the idea of Jesus? Yes, 100%. All these things. The way that it's lined up in my mind is that if it's possible, it's possible. There's things that I'm not gonna bet on this, and that because I don't have to. Right. But I'm not gonna go convince everyone that this is real, this is not, this is what I'm just gonna. If it's possible, okay, it's possible. Is it possible that Star Wars is real? Yes. Is it possible that Harry Potter is real? In my mind, J.K. Rowling is Hermione. She just told you it. Everyone just, oh, what amazing dream. She would have been chilling in London this whole time. She watched the whole shit. Fucking Voldemort almost killed everybody. That's just as possible as it not being possible. So the way I look at it now, for a person, that's hard to grasp, like, whatever. But in my mind, it's like, I just live in possibility. And since we haven't been taught the truth, we haven't been given. Now, if all of our lives we've always been given the truth and this and that, maybe, yes, I would be like, okay, Christianity is the truth, it's the real thing. Boom. Yeah, of course you would fall in line with it. But the way society's built is that from ever since I've been here, there's been lies and there's been deception all the way through.
I'm going to jump in right there because Ryan's perspective is both internal and external. So to hyper focus on the internal part there, like one of the things I'll say, like when it comes to like the religions and Jesus, is like in my life, in my own experience of everything that you're saying, like go to the garden and essentially read. I spent my 15 to 18 of me being alive doing that's what I did. All I did every single day. I studied everything I possibly could. I read everything I possibly could. And when I got to the chakra system, that was the one that when I started meditating, that was the one that I started to actually feel my chakras in my body. That was something that it wasn't just like, and at first it was like, oh, here's the chakra system. I was like, yo guys, this is cool. You should check this out. And then the reality hit me when I start meditating and I actually start to feel within my spirit and that this is something that I actually embody. And then like the third eye, I know that when you talk about third eye shit, it's real because I can feel my third eye. I can feel my pineal gland in my head. My chakras are aligned. My chakras are balanced. I've been balancing them since I was really 17. That's when I got onto that. So I'm 26 years old. I spent 9 years doing this. So for me, my third eye is awake 24/7. It never goes off. And so that's something I feel. I know that it's real. I feel it at all times.
And I've touched on it, and it's funny too.
And then wait, hold on real quick just to jump this in. So that's why I say we speak different languages. And when I look at you guys and the way you pursue your beliefs, I can't look at you and tell you that you're wrong just because I know in my heart I'm right. Because like I said, it could be a language thing of like, I can't tell you that Jesus Christ is the Savior, but I could tell you that pathway to God, I know that pathway, or I know a pathway because I can feel that presence. And if I was to tell you, it's the same question you asked me. Like if you knew this to be true, would you follow it? If I told you God spoke with me, would you believe me? Mm-hmm. And it's that point.
Which I do believe you.
So
just so we are clear on that.
Then to take that, thank you. To take that, it's like at that point where that is my experience. I no longer have the desire, because it's like just like you say when you found Jesus, like you don't have the desire to like go follow something else.
So what if
like I found my
but that's the thing you do though.
What if it was just a puzzle piece? What you have right now, you have a piece of the puzzle.
Well,
and
if we go
hypothetically by reading the Quran, the Bible, the Torah, the Hindu scripts, Buddhist scripts, whatever religion you want to be, by reading this passage, you get the other piece of this.
I think that's right, but like I said, that's what I spent 15 to 18 doing that.
But here's my thing, and I've touched on this with pretty much all three of you before, like in different ways. My biggest thing about it is I like that, and this is something that me and him went round and round and round about. You're always there, and there. I'm in the same boat, and that's what I mean by the only difference is I'm choosing to run. If you can see the flag, then you're there. And it's this.
I choose to float.
But it's this misconception about how, like I keep saying, relationship. I'm not talking about religion. I am not active in reading my Bible. I've said this several times. I suck at it. I really do. I read passages I'm interested in, but reading it as a whole, I am horrible at it. I get too hyper-focused on one thing, or I read a whole bunch and not actually have paid attention to any of it. I'm very shaky when it comes to prayer. I try my absolute best, but I think about it every day when I get home. I'm like, damn, I just spent 3 hours in my car that I could have spent talking to God. And I didn't. I spent it listening to hops, and I spent it listening to, like, influencing my brain in other ways. And so my point is that never will you hear me, like I said, I'm never going to force, push, I'm never going to pull, like, I'm not nudge, I'm never mind. But my job, if I'm a Christian and I have blatant Christian views, then I'm going to tell you you're wrong, I'm going to tell you this is right, I'm going to tell you do this. I said it in church today. If my son grows up and he can prove atheism to an undeniable T, I'm going to hear him out. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. I'm going to investigate it for myself. I'm not going to tell him not to do it. I'm not going to be upset that he did it because he's searching for the truth. I'm going to applaud that. And so what I know is that it's never, there's not like oh, you're there. It's not like Adam and Eve screwed up walking with God. And so I'm never going to reach that, like, past my cap, pretty much. And I'm never going to pass my cap because I enjoy living my life how I enjoy living it. Yeah, theoretically, I could wake up tomorrow and be like, all right, God, this one's it. Like, and I have had that thought several times where I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm just going to turn it over. I'm just going to sit here and wait for you to tell me what to do. But I know that I can't hold to that. I can't hunger strike. And so all I am saying is that at the end of the day, there really will never, ever be a harm in just opening your ears to hear more. And that's my biggest thing. And that's the
I don't
thing
disagree with that.
That's the thing that irks me most about everyone, both Christians and non-Christians, atheists, everybody. Open your ears. Like, just be willing to listen. I didn't say I want to read the Bible. I want to read everything. Because at the end of the day, I could choose to read nothing, or I could choose to read everything. And they're both technically do the same thing.
I did tell Eddie.
I am more equipped if I read everything. Except I know that if I'm going to reach my 13th layer, I'm still going to be willing to hear if there's anything above me. I know that at the end of the day, I am not the pinnacle. I can't control that's not directly in front of me, and I can manipulate with my hands. I can't levitate. I can't move. There's only so many things I can make happen. You. The fact that that's also my point. The fact that within socially, there are people that control the world better than me. Within my own group, there are people like I know that I am in control of what I have and my universe. I know that the things that I can control, I'm going to control because I'm not a sheep. Well, to the same extent, though, I know that if I am not a sheep, if I am powerful, I know how powerful you are. I know how powerful you are. I know how powerful you are. I know that all of us sitting here, this is powerful. So what makes this powerful? That means there has to be something intangible about what we're doing that makes this powerful. If there is a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, which I have an objective sense of morals, so there has to be. For there to be rationality, you can't have rationality out of anarchy. You have to have something that structured this rationality. So that shows me there is something. Whether that is Jesus, whether that is Allah, whether that is Messiah, whether that is Yahweh, whether that there's so many different names that people have called it because it's all about different angles. But at the end of the day, there is something. And so how do I reach the something? That is truth. How do I reach truth? It's by being equipped. It's by knowing what I'm talking about. It's by trying to figure out where the bridge is so I can maybe walk it one day. If I don't read anything, then I'm never going to move. So and if my better place, even if it is...
And then I want to go to what Bree is saying. Yeah. Everything you're saying in terms of equipping yourself, I feel like that I agree. I mean, you should as much as you can. In the metaphor I'll give to add to what Bree was saying, what Ryan was saying is like, you know, it's like candy. Like when it comes to my own understanding of God, I have the piece of candy. And so if you come to me and say, well, I have the piece of candy, I'm like, oh, well, I'll try it. Because I'm not the person who say, no, I'm not going to try it. Like, I'll try it. But I also know that I already have the candy. So, but that doesn't mean that you don't have it either. And yours could be different than mine. And we could still have the same desired result. But I also want to throw in, there's more than one way to crack an egg. So even what you're saying,
In this case,
is 100% true.
joking.
But the only part that I find is like where you hit the wall is that like what everything Bree's saying is 100% true as well.
yeah, that's
But
and me and
part of
her
what
have
you're
had-
saying,
but-
and what she's saying, they don't connect.
No,
but how can
because
she be
the-
true and you be true at the same time?
because we're both searching for the truth. Like you said, you keep saying.
I feel like it already is true
well,
though.
You keep saying hit a wall, right?
Well, you were saying
that's
like the cat. The
my-
cat
me
you were
too.
referring to.
I
Well,
was using that within your reference.
This
though.
is what I want to say. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like what I have to say will maybe two things. One is I do disagree with you on that. I will never be able to move things. Like, I get your sentiment on that, but even the Bible says, like, and this is not just
But
a
that's
metaphor.
not me. I'm doing it through
is-
the will of God.
Yeah,
That's my
I
point.
do agree with that. It's the power of Him working
Even
through
Jesus
you.
Christ
says
said He does nothing.
faith will, His miracles were done because of the power of God
So
inside of
you
Him, because
got-
He was 100% God. and
Christ
100%
as a
man.
human could not do
okay,
it.
so I didn't understand if you were saying you just couldn't
No.
do it, or okay, so you believe it's the power of God working through you to
Yes.
make that thing happen. I agree with that as well. Number two,
I agree with that as well.
I feel like this is my like end all be all of the situation. This is how I feel, and I think this is where I disconnect is a little bit, right? Because you have you want the karmic, what did you call it?
Balance.
Karmic balance, right? So for me, when the Old Testament to the New Testament, God gives us, first we have the 10 Commandments, right? And then the Jews also had a bunch of rules that they also had to keep outside of that. Then He dies, and He basically says, there are a couple things you have to do. You have to love people as I love people. You need to go make disciples of men, and go make disciples and be fisher of men. And I feel like both of those things align up with what you both believe. Love people, so you get that karmic balance, or whatever. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting what you said. Was it karmic balance? Karmic balance, and just putting out love and positivity in the world. But where we break up is, I feel, you have to make the commitment of knowing that Jesus Christ died on the cross, and that's where we split. That's where our beliefs.
And
split
let me
up.
just interject real quick right there.
Yeah.
My point is that's what you believe, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's going to be a Hindu person that's going to tell you this. So in my mind, what I told Eddie, because Eddie, we were talking, he was telling me that he has gone to church with you guys, and he was thinking about his own spirituality and stuff. And I told him, in my honest opinion, if you do want to go into religion, read every single text.
Yeah.
Read all of them. And then, I didn't tell him this, once you're done, go on YouTube and watch Spirit Science and watch all of those. Once you've done that, then that's like just like Harry Potter. You can't tell me, if you've only seen Harry Potter 1, that Harry Potter 7 is which one's the best. But if you've seen all 8, you read every book,
And then
and once you get there, then you can tell me truly what you believe is the best way.
And just to
but
throw
if
direction-
you've only been shown Harry Potter 1 from your whole life, and you're going to believe Harry Potter 1 is going to be the best and the true, what you believe is true. If you've seen all of them, you can give me a balanced perspective. If you read all of them and you're like, Christianity, this is the one that out of all of them, this is the shit, right? Then I'm like, okay, because you have versed yourself in all the different ideas that anyone could battle you on. That's what I feel about it.
So this is what I say, and I feel like with us, I'm enjoying this conversation that you and I are having, and I don't think that we're gonna reach a common ground because, well, I know we're not, but that's okay, and there's beauty in that, but for me, and again, this is why we're not. For me, there's historical accounts, and that is enough for me, but that's not enough for you because you don't believe what they're giving us is to be truth, and that's okay. It is what I believe, that Jesus Christ died on the cross, that there was no body, and that there were multiple accounts of there being no body 3 days later, and that is more than any other religion can provide, that a God died and rose again. And I do believe that they proved that. I do believe 100% that has been proved. And I'm completely okay with you not believing that. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to try to convince you.
I live in possibilities.
Yeah.
So it's possible, but I'm also aware that it's possible that it didn't.
Yeah.
So that's just where I reside, right in the middle, in between.
But
For
I
me,
take
the split on that
wait,
is
hold
that.
on, real quick.
Yeah.
I take that and I say, okay, well, if this is what I believe, and I commit to God, and I believe that He died on the cross for me, I believe that He cleansed me. I believe that His blood cleansed me. That's literally what it is that when He died, He paid the price for everything that I've ever done wrong, anything that anybody has ever done wrong. In that moment when He screamed out, it was because He felt the pain, and He says, God, why did you forsake me? And it was because in that moment God left Him, because He took on the pain and the sin and the hurt of every single person on the planet. I believe that. So I commit to that belief and I live my life. The only thing he tells me I have to do is tell people about it and love them and believe in the Holy Spirit. And if I live that way, I'm living a beautiful life and I lose nothing. I lose nothing. But if I go against that belief, which I strongly have, I lose everything at the end of it all.
And that's what I was trying to get to. That like it always, I've always felt like you guys are so adamant about looking at that side of the coin. But if you guys are really and truly about love, there's this book with all this evidence. You go look that tells you if you're truly and adamant about love, do it like this. Do it under this name. And I understand the whole concept of, well, I'm about love. I'm going to do it under me. But
I don't,
like,
that's not my concept, though.
Not even, I mean, in a way, what else could it be, though?
Well,
why else?
You can have God without, in your religion, I understand.
Yeah.
God and Jesus are like synonymous.
Well,
but
no,
for me,
no,
I don't need Jesus
Answer this.
to believe
if
in God.
I'm specifically telling you, though, in order to truly love everyone and spread love, all you have to do is talk to God and do it under Jesus' name. Why wouldn't you be like, all right, let me devote. Let me see how. Let me see if I reach that.
Respectfully, I know that in my experience that the God thing I feel 100% because I am Josh's son. That's the son of God. That's what that stands for. But I don't, in my own experience, like we've created moments of love, and I've never claimed it to be in
3
Jesus'
months
name.
ago, you never knew what it was like to hold your son in your arms and feel that love.
Yes. But what evidence does that point towards Jesus?
Because how before the baby came, there was a sense of before the baby came, there was a sense of almost concern that is innate and natural.
So what you said, I agree with. Exactly what you said. There could be another level of love that you got to experience.
And that's my
but
point.
I still think, like everything you said, the point where you're like, where yours and his diverge, I feel like ours diverge at the moment where it's like that it has to be in, because all of that could have happened. Yeah. And I literally like, I have no reason to even like debate or deny that any of that happened, because like to me I have no gain in that. If I can prove it to be true or prove it to be false, there's no gain for me in that. It's completely indifferent to like where I'm sitting in my space. But the doorway for me is that ending where the part where it's like it must be in Jesus' name, because, and now you tell me this because just for my question to make sense, because I don't know. Like when did that all happen, like in terms of years? Is that the beginning of the Gregorian calendar?
Is that AD versus...
Yeah, is that where that splits?
Yeah, AD is after death. It's BC before Christ,
okay.
AD after
So
death.
then my question would be that all the time that happened before then, in that space, God's still existing, right? Because God didn't just start there.
Right.
There, all those people, if they hadn't had that experience...
Jesus says, before there was, I am. The salvation was already put in place before the world was created.
So that existence of salvation exists regardless whether Jesus was.
Thing, though, because some people believe, and this is debated amongst Christians, so I don't think there's any right answer for this, but some people believe that people who died before Christ are sitting in a realm that is neither heaven nor hell. They're just existing.
The Bible blatantly says that David would see that baby made from murder, made from adultery in heaven. Not that the baby would come to him.
Yeah, that he
so
would
this baby that was born before Christ came, this baby that was born out of sin, out of horror, and this baby that was murdered will be in heaven. Yeah. Because Jesus says specifically, he is talking to a room full of Jews. The Jewish word for God is Yahweh, which is I am what I am, which is I am existence.
It's actually also pronounced like you're taking a breath. It's supposed to be the breath of your lungs.
So when Jesus said, when they ask him, well, then who are you to be making these claims? Jesus blatantly tells them, I am, referencing to always having been. And it's the same thing when Jesus is speared and when he dies, he says tetelestai, which is it is completed, as in it has always been complete, as in it will always be completed. This thing that has always been working is done because it always has been done. So everybody
completed
before
it.
Christ,
That is also the definition of karma.
that's the
Is it?
reason.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
reason.
You're doing.
The Bible says there are several people, there are several prophets that came before Christ who will Abraham will be in heaven, not because he was able to be saved through salvation, but because he chose to devote his faith in Christ, because he chose to follow this one thing and discover that new aspect of love. He said, I feel it this much, let me feel it that much, let me feel it that much, let me feel it that much, up to a point where every waking moment he was able to do that. I am not capable of that. I know I'm not. Luckily for me, I was born AD instead of VC, so
All right,
I don't
I'll
have
say
to
this.
be.
I'll say this to put a bow in it.
Did she put the
Because
heat
it's
on?
getting
I
kind of
was
hot
like,
and
why?
all that.
Yeah,
I think
I'm on
one,
fire.
for us to reach a final conclusion of this
Which
would
we
make
may-
us
we may never.
the most brilliant people in the whole world, because
Absolutely.
this has been going on for however long. Two,
We can figure this
a
out.
question for both sides, or I don't want to say sides, but a question for all perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
People who follow Jesus or people who have their own or different understandings
Right.
is one, just like you said, if there is this possibility that this is real, or if it is real, then why wouldn't you go see about it, essentially? And then the other side that my question I would pose, which I don't, is rhetorical, please don't try to answer it,
We'll be
is
here
for
another
now,
2
yeah,
hours.
is that just like you said and what you said, like how before he died on the cross, there was the pure people essentially would get into heaven, and then after, just to summarize
Not pure devote.
devote, and then after he dies on the cross, it's the people who, correct me if I'm wrong, but proclaim his name,
Yes.
just to keep it simple. That means that based on what you're telling me, there's two, in the same basis, which is Jesus, but there's two different ways that people got into heaven.
That's why.
So
there's
Yes.
my
So
question
much.
is that if there was more than one, then the same truth could exist in this
no,
moment today,
because
which doesn't negate.
I can answer it in one sentence. Jesus blatantly says it does. He says, "I am the way, the truth, and the light.
He says he's the
No
only
one
way
can come to the
God.
Lord except for me. I am
Through
bringing, except through me. I am bringing the Spirit and the will of God back to you, so you may experience it."
So I'm just saying,
Yeah.
there was two.
That's why I
could
say
be more.
there
Say it,
is
man.
no
Yeah,
there's
say
not
your final
another
thought,
way
say
to
your
get
I'm
final
not
that.
gonna dive deeper.
No, we're finishing up. This is our sign out. Oh,
Yeah.
real quick, you want to know something really funny? This just kind of goes along with it. But my cousin goes to a church and she's working there, and there's a Messianic Jew who also goes to her church, and she goes to like a big like mega church, and she's talking to him. Mind you, this is someone who's devoted their whole life to Christ, and she's talking to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I go to the synagogue," and she's like, "Please take me with you. Like I love the way that you guys do things, you know." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take you." And she's like, "Can I go to like the synagogue?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, we let Gentiles in all the time." And it was such a funny thing, because as a Christian, you don't think of yourself as a Gentile, because the whole thing, like, they were Gentile Jews before Christ died, but then afterwards you think like your whole thing is like, we're all one now, there's no need for that.
Yeah.
And so then you're called a Gentile, which means like unclean. And she was like, "Should I be offended by that?" And he was like, no, you're good. She was like, "Okay, cool." But it was just really funny.
That's funny.
All right, Jackson, I want to hear one final thought from you for the world. Tell the world one more thing.
Tell the
I don't
world
know.
what they want them to
one
know.
thing. Could be anything.
Tell us
Anything.
one thing. Are you
Fun
excited
fact.
for school this week? When's your summer break? How was your
No,
play?
I do
Anything
not
else?
want to do school this week, and school is boring.
School is for winners. If you don't go to school, you have L's in the
Well,
shot.
if you watch any of this podcast and
Ryan's
don't
actually the best example.
take a
for,
general theme of
he
learn
went to
as much
school.
as you can, I wouldn't say it's school per se, but learn as much as you can. That's all I have.
You should read. If you're willing, I'm only gonna give you this book if you actually will read it and return it to me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I won't give it to you. But
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to
gonna
be.
be like
the
the
Celestine
jacket.
Prophecy.
I appreciate
and that
my
what
existence,
those things in history that
and
you're
I'm
looking
happy
for,
to be
the
experiencing.
book breaks those
Boom.
things down. Obviously, it's a lot.
I
more
am sad
summarized.
that the video went out.
What
All
I'm
right, yo,
looking for
let's yo,
because
dead it
I've
off
done
the
that. Okay.
dead it. I'm appreciate everyone who's watching.
I'm a dead what I want to dead. The sign's still on.
Sorry
We
about
still
the
going.
video.
We still
Win the kin.
Thank you. I'll be showing all my friends
We gotta
this,
fix that.
just so I can make fun of myself and
Indigo Ryan
my
the
sister
Navigator.
and my
Y'all son, the
friends.
guru.
Win the kin.
You need to cut
Get this
it.
bozo off the mic.
Steal it back from him.
Ow! Can't be
But we didn't, because Jason.
Episode 32.
Pulled an
Thank you
Eddie.
very much. Wait, we gotta turn the sign off, bro.
Cut it.
Man, we went too
The
man, move
video's
before the
already
sign
dead.
off. Episode 32.
Fire, you guys.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And